Welcome everyone to Roadium Radio episode 330. 330. Can you believe that? We need 70 more and we'll reach 400. But that's still a long ways to go. But anyways, I want to thank everybody who subscribed, everybody who liked, comment, everybody who disliked, everybody who unsubscribed, everybody who shared, everybody who's on the live chat, everybody who decided not to be on the live chat. It's all good because you guys are still watching. Much love and respect to you guys. I always like to say that if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be here because it's you guys that make this show possible. So thank you very, very much. For those of you guys that have not tuned in lately, we got a lot of great shows. Recently, we just had a conversation with Marvelous. We had news with Norby's, and we had some other guests. You definitely got to check it out because we got some more guests coming in the near future. So other than that, you know what? I don't really don't want to waste any time because I have a lot of questions, but we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. This is a dear friend of mine. This is somebody who is no stranger to the podcast. So without further ado, please allow me to introduce the one and only Bobby D Presents.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing great too. You know what? Something I have to bring up because I think it's very important. This is episode 330. You were here, episode 23, the year 2020, January 8th, pretty much 4 years ago.
Yeah, I loved it, bro. And I was nervous, and just as nervous as I am now, but it was cool, man. And I wanted to thank you, and I think coming on the show opened up a lot of people's eyes to what we're doing and how we're doing it. So I thank you for that, brother.
Well, you're welcome, and I thank you for being here. You know, it was funny because like there's people that probably today have heard of Bobby D, don't necessarily know what Bobby D does. Mm-hmm. So I want to encourage you guys, if you guys want to go into a deep conversation on this man's life, definitely check out episode 23. You won't be disappointed. We talk about from his 11 years old, going to nightclubs with his dad.
Yeah.
I tripped out when you said I think your dad had his club or running clubs at the age of 22.
Yeah.
You know, and so once again, definitely check that out, episode 23. But we're going to jump into some other things here. First and foremost, I know you talked about, I asked you the question last time, are you a football guy? You said Raiders and Saints.
There you go.
Raiders and Saints. Okay, now, Super Bowl this Sunday. If I had to twist your arm, who do you got?
I'm going to say the Niners.
The Niners.
And I hate that, but I'm going to have to say the Niners. Just for my cousin Jumbo, because I want to be a hater and hate on it, but no, I think the Niners need to get it this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, me personally, I don't want the Niners to win. That's why I'm going for KC. But you know what? I can't take nothing away from them.
Right.
Did you watch the 49ers and Detroit game?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Detroit at first was making it look too easy.
Yeah.
So I was thinking to myself, what was that tough Niners team? But it showed up in the second half.
Yeah.
And they always say the sign of a good team is a team that's able to come back.
Right.
And they did.
Right.
So now we'll see. This is a rematch, KC, 49ers. We'll see what happens. You know, may the best team win.
Well, in my opinion, bro, the KC, towards the end of the season, they always start playing possum. You know what I mean? Like, it looks like they're not good. Nah, they're full of shit, bro. What they do is they play people. They make them think like, oh, he fell off. And then, boom, the last 2-3 games, when it's really important, that's when they turn it on. But I think that the Niners have a lot of momentum this time.
Yeah.
And I think it's an upset time. Yeah.
Brock Purdy, I think I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Yeah. That guy does not play like a rookie, you know.
No,
I think last year was his first start.
Yeah, bro.
And man, that guy, he's playing great. So let's see what happens. It'll be a great time. You know, I was hoping my Cowboys were going to be there, but they're terrible.
Yeah, let's not talk about the Cowboys, bro.
Yeah, man. Oh, all right. Okay. Now, you know what? There was something that I wanted to, because I went back to listen to our conversation from episode 23. Once again, if you guys want to tune in for that one, you were sharing that at one point in your young career, you were running the Quiet Canyon, or at least doing shows there.
You're right.
Okay, which people know as QCs. Mm-hmm. Okay. You were saying that you had big names there before they ever blew up.
Yeah.
And that was one part that stood out to me amongst others. But you said you had P.D. Pablo, Akon, Sierra, and Rihanna before they ever took off.
Yeah.
Really?
You know, what I was always relying on is the DJs. The DJs have something called a record pool. I mean, you know that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And they always get the hot stuff. So they would tell me, hey, you know, this person's trekking on whatever they trekked on. And I would go back and find out. I'm like, okay, you know what? How big do you think they're going to be? Enough for us to play it every night in the club. And they don't have a name yet, but they're going to be big. So I would call the agencies, you know, hey, I heard you just signed Rihanna, Ciara, Akon, whatever. And they'd say, yeah, you interested? I say, yeah, for a club over there in Montebello. They're like, Montebello, where's that at? And I'm like, East LA. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, sure. Because they wanted to go to a place other than LA and Hollywood.
Oh,
so when they found out it was East LA, they're like, all right, cool, we'll give you a shot over there at Montebello. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of clowning me, but I said, all right, cool. Yeah, yeah.
Now, I just have to ask because of my manager, rest in peace, Steve Yano, he would take pictures of everything. Yeah. We would like, Steve, I don't want to take a picture right now, but he always took pictures.
Right.
If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't necessarily have any throwbacks. Right. Okay. Did you ever take pictures of them there?
You know, sometimes, because at that time I was drinking and having a good time.
Okay.
And we used to fight a lot because the whole growing up on jiu-jitsu and all that, and all my cousins were peleoneros, so we would get in fights. I'd be the promoter, and we'd end up fighting with everybody, and it was just like, you know, pictures became secondary to explain to the nightclub owner why we got in fights when we're the promoter.
Right.
I was just a knucklehead, bro, because I was drinking at the time. You know? So the pictures now, you would probably just see me after the fact, and shirt all buttoned, ripped open, and all that good stuff, you know?
A bloody nose.
Yeah, bloody nose, you know?
Wow.
Power 106 would trip out. They would be like, oh, man, Bobby D, why do you always get in fights at all your clubs? And I'm like, I don't know. So
that's one thing that I didn't know about the jiu-jitsu thing.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that.
Yeah.
So now when you look at their careers that have taken off, like, do you look back and like, wow, I had them first?
Yeah. I mean, look at Peso Pluma. We were the first one to do Peso Pluma, and I took a chance there because...
Press pause, because I'm saving that juicy one for later.
All right.
Okay, they're going to have to wait.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, okay, once again, Petey Pablo, Akon, Ciara, Rihanna, anybody that I might have missed?
MB Riders.
Okay.
You know, MB Riders, Baby Bash. You know,
Okay.
This is when we were all super young, and I just remember that there was this whole movement coming from Texas, and that was, you know, MB Riders, Playing Skills, and we broke all those artists. You know what I mean? They weren't big yet, and we had them in Montebello, which was kind of like, you know, the epicenter for all the new music.
Yeah.
Yeah, to this day, you know, Bash, you know, all those guys, MC Magic, who I consider one of my brothers.
Yeah.
You know, we broke them. I mean, they broke me, and I broke them.
You know, when you mentioned the record pool, this is what this reminded me of. I went to the Roadium Swamp Meet on a Sunday, and there were rappers that used to go to my manager's stand there at Swamp Meet, because he sold vinyl and cassettes and 45s, because some 45s were still available, and then he had CDs were barely starting to trickle in.
Right.
Okay, and this was in the 80s. And there was rappers all the time, whether they had an independent record deal or whether they just pressed it up on Macola.
Right.
Okay. They would bring and give a record to my manager, Steve, and he was like, hey, Orlando wanted me to bring this to you. I didn't know who Orlando was. Right. He goes, Orlando wanted me to bring this to you. I'm the guy. I'm the rapper. Right. And Steve goes, okay, cool. I'll listen to it, man, and we'll put it on the mixtape. And if people like it, then we'll flip it on the other side. We'll play the instrumental. Have you come back, and we'll go to his house, and you rap on it, and we'll sell it and see how it does. Yeah. And that's how he used to do it. Right. But he almost looked like non-interested. And so when that guy walked away, I'm like, you were kind of a jerk, bro. Right. And he was like, just go home and listen to it. He goes, I get this shit all the time. And I was like, all right. So I go home, crack it open. Put the vinyl on, put the needle on, and as soon as I heard the first word, holy shit! And I might have gave it about 30 seconds. Yeah. I waited till he got home. He would get home about 4:30 because they would leave the Swamp Meet about 3 o'clock from Gardena all the way to where he lived. From East LA, okay, Whittier. So I called him up. The guy still had the same phone number to this day, even though he's no longer alive. So I called him up and I go, Steve, I think we should get this guy on a mixtape. And he goes, why? The song is really, really dope. I'm going to play it for you. So I played it for him. He goes, okay, cool. He goes, I'll set it up. I'll call up Orlando and I'll have him come over and then we'll rap it. He'll do it on the mixtape. I said, okay, cool. That was Young and C, Bust a Move.
Yeah. See, and I was going to tell you, the first person to really discover music the way I got lucky with the first time was my dad. We had Tone Loc. We had Young MC all around that time when Delicious Vinyl came out. I remember we had Young MC, Tone Loc, New Kids on the Block. They had never performed. My dad had them first. So my dad had that same instinct that I had as far as finding talent before they really blew up. But I grew up in a beautiful time in 87, 88. That's when I was a kid in the club. Yeah. And that's when all these artists broke, and my dad was right there, you know, in the club, young, and it was cool, man. I met Lisa when she was like 19, and I was like 11 or whatever it was. I met the New Kids on the Block. Marky Mark tried to fight with me and my brother. You know, he was their security, and mind you, he's only 15 years old. But it was
I think you took it to In and Out. You
I took him in and out. Man, you have a good memory. And but like I said, my dad was really the first one to have a good instinct on music. We had, you know, NWA, we had Eazy-E there. When these were all young cats, you know?
Right.
So it was a good time, but my dad's always been very instinctual, and I kind of got that from him. And I know I talk about him a lot, but, you know, that's where I got that from.
No, I know you would tell me that you were always with them, and I think that's a beautiful thing that you not only were you always with them, but your dad was very, not only influenced, but very instrumental in your life.
Yeah,
man.
no, I mean, he's always very open and very willing to teach me. You know, sometimes good, sometimes bad, but he was always willing to teach me so that I was prepared for whatever came my way.
No, and that's a good thing, because I'll be honest with you, I don't hear too many artists when they come here ever mention their dad.
Right.
It's always like, my mom this, my dad took off. F my dad was in and out of jail, my dad this. So when I hear that, like, it's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, my mom's dope. Like, she's the true epitome of like of just a great wife. You know, they've been married. I mean, they got married when they were 15 and 16, and now they're 68 and 67. So that tells you, you know.
Yeah.
So I was raised on a foundation of love.
That's a beautiful thing.
You know, that's why, like I said, like to me, I don't have that fuck the world type mentality.
Yeah.
I have more of the type like let's heal as much as we can and you know, defend yourself when you have to. But you know, to me, it's just I roll cool, you know, until otherwise.
In Bakersfield, when I went to go see the Ice Cube, Cypress Hill, and Baby Bash was there. Everybody was there. Burner was there.
That was Bakersfield Blaze.
Yes, there you go, Bakersfield Blaze. And man, you know, I really went there to go see Cypress Hill because I did shows with B-Real and them in the early 90s, but I hadn't seen them perform since then. Yeah. And I remember working with Bobo before he was with Cypress Hill. He was just about to join them. And I remember the very first Chicano rap group that Bobo ever worked with, where he played some bongos, was with Proper Dose from Santa Monica.
Right.
And then he did some stuff with me and High C, and then he went on to bigger and greater
Mexican
things.
Power.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So I went there to go see them, but I just had such a great time. But I met your brother that day. Yeah. And then, because he told me, I'm Bobby D's brother. And I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I thought to myself, he's lying. he's a big dude.
Yeah, that's my little brother. Oh, that's my actual blood brother.
But no, but that's your little brother?
Yeah, Aaron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
He's a beast.
Yeah, it's just that I don't tend to believe people because a lot of times they want to drop names to get a pass.
Yeah.
But he had a Bobby D shirt. He goes, hey, well, I'm Bobby D's brother now. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. But when you said, oh, that's my brother.
That's my actual little blood brother. You know, I always call him my little big brother.
Okay.
Know?
And then I met your son.
Yeah, Devin.
Yeah, I met your son that day. Yeah. That was a beautiful thing. So now, last time you were here 4 years ago, you were promoting something that I thought was going to be historical, and it was Banda, M.A.S. featuring Snoop. Right. And then can you kind of share that story, how that came about? Because I know you already shared it, but...
No, I don't mind telling it because it's true, and I loved it, bro. I was in the hospital. I had got really sick with something called diverticulitis, which most people have. It's just a matter of how bad it gets. Yeah. And, you know, I was working out. You remember how big I was when I came last time? I was fat buff, you know?
Husky buff.
Yeah, husky buff, you know? But, and I'm going to be honest with you and be fully transparent. I was taking a lot of painkillers because of the jiu-jitsu. I've trained there in jiu-jitsu for like 27 years. Wow. I used to compete. I used to fight. I was a bouncer when I was 17. You know, and I made transitions. So I was taking painkillers, and, you know, after a while, it just became an addiction rather than, you know, I needed it. Yeah. And what I didn't realize is I was doing damage to my inside. Oh, because it stuffs your stomach up. And I got really, really sick, and I didn't know what it was. And my coping was take another one. Deal with it tomorrow. I got really sick, and unfortunately, I became septic, and I got rushed to the hospital. This is when COVID had just broke out, so no one knew what COVID was. So automatically, they assumed I had COVID. Yeah. I assumed I had COVID because I had never heard of diverticulitis. Anyways, long story short, I was in the hospital at Kaiser. I flatlined for 4 seconds. I died on the table, and they kept telling me every day I'm probably not going to live. I was on a respirator, or what do they call it?
Yeah, the respirator.
Ventilator. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
And so I just was thinking, I'm like, all right, I can't talk, you know, I don't know what's going on. The world's ending. I can't have any visitors. So Snoop was checking on me. And I says, man. So when I finally got the ventilator off, I called Snoop and I says, you want to get really tight with the Mexicans? And he says, yeah, I love your people. Just verbatim. He says, I love your people. And I said, okay, cool. I'm going to call the biggest Mexican band in the world, and we're going to do a collaboration. And he goes, I'm in, Bob. So I said, okay. So I talked to Banda in Mexico, Sonora, and they said, oh, that'll be big. So they were sending ideas, and Snoop said, give me a little bit. I'm gonna write the song. I said, all right, cool. They had already wrote the instrumental. So I got out of the hospital. The world's coming back to normal. I went, not normal, but was getting there. I was at the beach and I was smoking weed, which I never do, just taking a walk in Huntington Beach, right? No one cared. Cops weren't stopping nobody. It was like free for all, right?
Yeah.
And Snoop texts me, it's ready. No, and he goes, it's done. And I said, well, what do you mean? Are we done? I didn't know what he meant.
Right. I
was like a scared boyfriend. You know what I mean? Well, we're done. What did I do? And he goes, no, fool, the song. I said, what song? Because I'm high.
Right.
And he goes, just look at your phone. So I put my headphones on. And remember, I'm high as can be. And I heard this song. It was Que Maldición. And he's rapping in Spanish. And it's just like, it's a masterpiece, bro. And I called him. I almost wanted to cry. That's how dope it was. Because I knew it was going to change a lot of things for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And he told me that D Smoke wrote the lyrics. D Smoke's, he's Mexican and black. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he speaks full Spanish. You know that.
Yes.
We've had him on here. And man, that song became one of the biggest hits, pandemic, post-pandemic, everything. And it really did introduce Snoop to a whole new audience. And it really started that whole thing we were trying to do as a black and brown.
Yes.
I mean, I know I've touched on it before, but it was really important because at our concerts, like if you look out at our crowd, it's puro, raza and black. And to me, it's like when we're not fighting at these shows, bro, it's a beautiful testament to what we were trying to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was cool. And again, people always love Snoop. He's always been Snoop Dogg. But then he became Theo Snoop.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Theo Snoop.
Yeah, and he really, really does love the Mexican people, bro. That's not an act. That's not,
right. It's real.
He genuinely loves, just Mexican people, people in general. But that was cool, bro. And then Latinos embraced him.
That's a good thing. Now you answered my question. I was going to ask you, what was the response that you got when that song dropped?
Oh, I mean, it was incredible. I mean, look, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, people just didn't believe it was real. And then when it came out, it was like, wow. The only kind of sad part is we couldn't really support it with live shows because we were still doing, the whole 6 feet. You couldn't do live shows.
Yeah.
So we even did the video, which was just a cartoon in the beginning.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah,
if you know that. We
yeah.
had to do a cartoon version of it. It wasn't until about a year later that we did a remix with Becky G, and we filmed it in San Pedro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we filmed it in your hood. And it was cool, man. But that really started to start the whole process with the black and brown, and I think a lot of relations got better behind that. And Snoop was just after that he did songs with Ovi and Nata and other big names, but nothing really hit the way we did like that song.
Okay, now how was it received in Mexico?
Huge. Every TikTok had little old ladies, dancing and doing the thing on, and it just, like I said, it did exactly what we hoped it would. We just didn't know it was going to be that big.
Holy shit. Okay. Yeah. Now, and I think maybe a couple of years later, because I think this might have dropped maybe about a year ago, if I'm correct, you did the same group, Banda MS with Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Okay.
The theme was a little bit different. Snoop's whole thing behind that song was a testament to his wife because he's never home, and he loves Shantae. And that was kind of like an apology.
Okay.
Like it was just saying I think about you all the time, even though I'm not home all the time. But believe me, you're the one I want to come home to, and let's go drink tequila, let's go to Mexico, and celebrate blah, blah, when I get home. Whereas Ice Cube's is a little more political because that's just who Cube is.
Yes.
He's a spokesperson. I convinced him to do it because I had told him when he wrote that manifesto, I said, look, you forgot one thing. You forgot the Latinos. We suffer just as much as black people do. We get discriminated against. We're told that we're supposed to be washing dishes and yada, yada, yada. And when, I kind of told him forcefully because I was passionate about it. We were in this trailer at one of our shows in, I forgot where, somewhere out there in the sticks, Santa Maria. And he looked at me like I was crazy, and I thought he was going to kick me out of his thing. He goes, well, what you got in mind? I said, let's do music. That's how we reach people. And we did a very, very politically driven song. Or not so much political, because he's not choosing left or right or.
Right.
It was just about, the imagine being on the other side. Imagine us as Americans being discriminated. You know what I mean? That we're the ones that have to sneak out of America to go to Mexico. And it was pretty cool, man.
Yeah,
It's called ¿Cuál Fronteras?
Right.
Fronteras? It was just amazing, man. And Cube showed up to the video shoot, not knowing any Spanish, and he walked away a big fan. You know?
Really?
Yeah, it was cool, man.
You know what was crazy? Because I saw him standing there, and then as a producer, okay, I don't think like a rapper. That's why I love interviewing rappers because I'm not one.
Right.
You know, I'm expecting when I hear even those different type of music, I'm expecting, and I'm thinking, I'm looking at him while they're playing their music. And I'm thinking, okay, what's he hearing? Where's his metronome?
Right.
You know, and then he started busting, and he's on time.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, that guy's a fucking genius.
And I got to watch some of it when he actually filmed it. I mean, when he actually recorded it, it was just amazing, bro. Like again, his biggest thing was he was nervous about the Spanish parts.
Yeah.
And I said, don't be nervous. Like, just be you. You know, be Ice Cube, because that's what we're expecting. You know,
Yeah.
he did the yay, and you know what I mean? It was cool, bro. So it was interesting to see a veteran and an OG like him get nervous. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
right.
And again, I told him, I says, if you don't think that Wallow and Allen are just as nervous, like, you're wrong, bro. You're like, these are who they look up to. You know, the Ice Cubes, the Snoops. And
yeah.
It's been amazing, bro.
That's awesome. And what was the response that you guys got from that?
That was, again, the vibe was different. So it was received very well. We did a real video. It was dope. We went out there in the desert and did it. But again, it was received differently in the sense that Game La Edición was like a fun party song. This was more of like, okay, cool. Like, this is a more serious song.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're never going to get the same response when you're talking like love and tequila and
right.
you know, getting fucked up versus, you know, we want to be the power. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, but again, both things achieve the same goal.
That's awesome.
Just that black and brown unity, you know.
That's awesome. Has Cube or Snoop ever performed with them? I believe Snoop has, right?
Snoop has. Cube is going to. It's just a matter of getting the right show. We were going to do Mexico, and things fell apart. But we're still going to go out there.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
That'll work.
Yep.
I had something that I wanted to bring up that we kind of touched on last time, and you had mentioned. Let me just get into it since I brought it up.
Yeah.
That your grandmother, if I'm correct, was a big Elvis fan.
Oh yeah, huge.
Okay. Now, I follow you on Instagram, and by the way, I want to apologize for something because this is now my 7th Instagram page.
Right.
And I remember the last time I saw a cartoon, he asked me, he goes, bro, why do you won't follow me and follow me again?
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, I'm sorry. And I go, my pages keep getting deleted, so I make another one, and then I follow you, and you're thinking I unfollowed you, and I'm unfollowing you again. Right. I didn't do that, bro. I didn't do that.
Right.
So I told B Real the same thing, Julio G. I go, bro, this is now my 7th Instagram page. Yeah. January 31st, I celebrated. I took a shot here live that this is the longest page I've ever had. I never had a page longer than a year.
That's cool.
So I've never been able to try to build my following on Instagram because of that. Right. But I pay attention to your posts, and I saw that you took a nice little vacation to Memphis, and you visited Elvis's house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Walk us through that. How was that, and why did you go? I know you said your grandma's an Elvis fan.
No,
but
I'm an Elvis fan, bro.
Okay.
I mean, I used to get dressed up as a little kid as him. You know what I mean? And like I said, I got an old soul, bro. Like I knew almost every Elvis song ever made by the time I was like 12. And just going to Memphis, it felt like it was calling me. And I don't want to sound corny, but it really was. And when I went in there, you could feel his spirit. You know,
really,
I'm saying that 100% because you know I'm a very spiritual person. You know, I don't necessarily go to church and all that, but I do feel vibrations and energy and all that. And you could feel Elvis's energy. She went with me, you know. But it was just really, really like it just felt dope, man. Like the fact that you know when he died, technically he was bankrupt. He was broke. Yeah, what Priscilla Presley did was save that estate and turn it into a Disneyland. You know what I mean? But a lot of people don't know that he was in big trouble. You know, his whole thing was go out and tour more. But he was doing the same thing I was doing with the medications. That's what killed him. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you watch the movie? The last one?
Every movie. I watched every movie.
What was your opinion on this last movie?
The one with Sofia Coppola?
I believe so.
Yeah, she directed it.
Okay.
I thought it was great. I mean, look, they say that it painted him in a bad picture and it was an anti-Elvis movie. I disagree. It just told her truth. Remember, she knew better than anybody. She was married to the Vato for, 7 years, 6 years?
Yeah, okay. Well, my oldest brother, who's probably close to 70, if I'm correct, he introduced me to Elvis as a kid, okay? So I grew up an Elvis fan. You know, his whole style, his hair, everything.
Yeah.
But when I saw that movie, I didn't think it painted a bad picture. I just, you know, it showed a side that probably we've never seen, but was true.
Right.
You know, then I think, what was it? His manager, I believe.
Yeah, Tom Parker.
Who was played Tom Hanks.
Right.
Did a great job, by the way. Okay. When he didn't want him to go out of the States, that was the first time, I'll be honest with you, I've heard of that. I didn't know that.
I've known about that.
See, I always thought he went all over the world and the world loved him.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure the world did love him, but the way the guy was saying, "Oh no, we can't go," or whatever,
For security.
for security.
Right.
But you can't deny that Elvis was an amazing performer.
Of course.
You know, and the way the movie started when he was on the floor and he says, "I don't care whatever it takes, but you make sure you get that man up on stage." I'm thinking, man, is that how it was? Like,
Oh, for sure. I mean, it look, bro, like that's what. Like it's so funny when I hear people say that Elvis is racist. I'm like, he was poor. Like there was no, you weren't racist when you're raised around nothing but black people. Like the real black people, like Little Richard and all them, they've all said Elvis was not racist. That dude grew up just as poor as we did, and we were in the same churches, and you know, because he would sneak into black churches, and sing, and they go, you know, BB King, the real people that grew up in Memphis said that kid was not racist. It just, unfortunately, Chuck D, who I look up to, and you know, I think he's
same here.
He made a song that says Elvis was a hero the most, but you know, he never. It's not true. He did a lot for black
Elvis.
people. Yeah, you already know, was a hero the most, you know. And that's one thing I wish I could tell Chuck, like you're wrong, bro. Like he didn't have he just wasn't racist.
Yeah. Well, I've never seen a movie that painted that side of him, you know. But one thing that really intrigued me by him, I think he was in a bus with Priscilla Presley in the movie, and then he's watching gospel music on the TV, and he says like, "That's my peace," or "My happiness," like something like that's what kind of like helps me or whatever. Right. I didn't know that he was actually raised in the church.
Oh yeah,
you know,
big.
You know, but I bought the movie because I still buy Blu-rays. You know, I bought the movie. I really, really enjoyed it. So I wanted your opinion on there. Other than going to his place, is there anything else that they have there that of his, maybe his cars or anything?
Oh, they have everything, bro. I mean, they've saved literally everything from like napkins the day he died, or you know, tissue papers to his private writings. And I mean, you go to Graceland, bro. It's an experience. It takes about 8 hours to do the whole tour.
Okay.
You know, so there's enough content there. You see all his cars, his plaques, his jumpsuits, his this, his that. Like it's amazing.
Now you being a promoter, and if I may call you an agent as well.
Sure. Yeah,
okay.
I'm telling you.
How did he pass away poor?
Bad management.
Okay.
You know, and again, the guy liked to spend money. Like if you liked a car and he had it, he would give it to you. So you really like it? Okay, cool. You know, and there's so many stories of black women telling him, "Oh my God, that's the prettiest car." He's like, "You really like it? Go on and take it, man. Go on and take it." Yeah. You know, he would really give everything away. If he liked his rings, he would give it to you. And his whole thing is he thought it would never stop. He didn't think he was, you know, even though he kept getting sick.
Well, he was the king.
He was a king, you know. And by the way, he hated being called that. He would always, when people would say you're the king, he'd say, "No, Jesus Christ is the king."
Wow.
Yeah, he would really stop them and say, "No, Jesus Christ is the king."
Wow.
I always thought that was so humble. And like, it was just cool, man. Like, that's why I looked up to him so much when I was a kid. Aside from my grandma loving him, she was probably one of the only Mexicans out there in Vegas, you know. It was just cool to see how humble he was. And I try to model that, you know what I mean? I try to be humble no matter what, because here's this great looking guy that can get probably any girl, and he would just be like, you know who's real humble like that? Believe it or not, is Snoop.
Yeah.
We would be at shows, and he would see all these women right there screaming and blah, blah, blah. And he would pick the one that was the least attractive, and he would make her feel like, you know, the most beautiful in the world.
Like a somebody.
Yeah. And it didn't matter how big she was or skinny or this and that, but he would go up to that one, and they say, "Bob, the fine one's always going to be there. I want her to feel special." You know, he would talk in that smooth voice. You know? And it was cool. I learned a lot from Snoop, too, as far as that. You know, it's really
That's awesome,
dude.
man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, last question about Elvis, and I have to ask you this because growing up, I read a couple of books about him. Do you believe he's still alive?
No. I believe he died.
Okay, so
Yeah, because again, I know what it's like to take the stuff he was taking. It killed him. You know, like I said, and the reason why I'm so honest and open about it is because, like, especially now, like when I was taking pastillas, like there wasn't fentanyl on those things.
Oh, okay.
You know, now it's like you don't know if you're buying, you know, what you think you're buying.
Right.
You know, and I was getting them from a doctor. I was getting them prescribed, but I was still abusing them. And you know, he was doing that times 50. I was only taking 1 or 2 different kinds of pills. He was taking like 40. So yeah, I believe he died. Unfortunately, he had a bad reaction to codeine. He was allergic to it, but he liked just being, you know, high. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it killed him.
Did you ever? Okay, and maybe I shouldn't ask this, but I need to ask you because this is a comedy skit.
Sure.
Did you ever appreciate Eddie Murphy in Delirious imitating Elvis?
Oh yeah. No, you know that he was a diehard Elvis fan, right?
Yes,
He has a
yes.
shrine. You know, in any of his houses, he always has an Elvis shrine.
Right. He actually did a good job.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I'm saying. Like the people that know that Elvis was no racist. You know, he was just a very, humble man, very generous, give you the shirt off his back. And, there's a story that he went to go see the president, right? By himself with one of his boys. And he had like $500 on him. He just hopped on a commercial plane. And there was a veteran that was right there. Because remember, this during all that time of the war. And he got to talking to the guy in the plane. And he just said, I'm going home to nothing. And he wasn't asking for a handout. Yeah. And I was like, give me that $500 we have to Jerry Schilling, his manager, is And he goes, that's all we got, Elvis. He goes, we got to go to Washington, D.C. He goes, just give me the damn money. And he gave it to him. He says, man, thank you for your service and blah, blah, blah. Wow. I thought that was a cool story. Wow. So he showed up to Washington with no money, just, jewelry, his cape, and everything he wore at the time. Wow. So that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay, I kind of going to put you on a little Elvis spot real fast.
That's all good. I love it.
Say you decide to take a walk in the park one day, and he's sitting right there. Yeah. But it's really him, hypothetical scenario, just a hypothetical scenario. Right. And he gave you 5 minutes and he said, you got 3 questions to ask me. Is there anything that you've thought about, like if I ever met the guy, if I ever see him, what I would ask?
I would ask him, would he do the Toyota Arena in Ontario with me? Yeah,
Hey, you have to, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's dope. Yeah. That's dope. Okay. Soon after, switching gears, soon after you were here in 2020, I think I don't remember the timeline. I don't know if it was ¿cómo se llama? God, I forget his name. Please forgive me. Concerts for You. David Vegas. Okay, David Vegas or Blanca hit me, and I think they were having a grand opening in Long Beach. Were you opening up a restaurant?
A bar.
Yeah. Okay, is that still going?
Yeah, it's called the Hideout. Yeah,
I
got that bar, and then I got one in La Habra, which is a bikini bar.
I think I want to go to that one.
Yeah, there you go. It's a cool vibe, man. Then I opened up a couple restaurants. So I always just try to stay busy, and I love employing people and, putting the economy to work. I believe, like I said, I believe in energy, man. I'm telling you, like keeping people busy. Like even during the pandemic, for the most part, we kept our staff working. And it was just a crazy time, bro. But I genuinely like seeing opportunities for people.
Okay, well, both of my sons need 2 jobs. So,
there you go.
So
I love your sons.
I'll bring them in.
Dope. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, I didn't know that. So you said the Hideout?
Yeah, the Hideout? Right there in downtown Long Beach.
Downtown Long Beach, and then the bikini one is
La Habra.
Okay, we'll keep that one on the low.
There you go. Hit me off mic.
Yes. Okay, so we covered Elvis. Now, talk to us. How did Mount Westmore come together? So we have Snoop, Ice Cube, E40, Too Short. Was that your idea? And if it was, did you make the calls? And were they all in favor of doing this? How did that work?
No, that wasn't my call. I was going to the studio, and I would notice because I really liked, especially with artists, but I try not to be in their way. Yeah. I don't hang out, because again, I feel like that's their time whenever they're alone to be alone, unless they call me. Yes. But I noticed that whenever I was there, I was in the Mothership, which is Snoop's main studio. And I would hear him talking to E40, Ice Cube, and Too Short. And I'm like, all right, cool. Then I would hear him again. I go, Snoop, what's up? What's cracking? He goes, wow, we're about to do this mega group called Mount Westmore. It was Snoop's idea. Okay. And, the one that they had to convince was Ice Cube because, he's Ice Cube. And Too Short and E40, and then they just started making music, and it became that. Now, I was the first one to do the first show because everybody was scared. Really? Believe it or not, like they weren't willing to pay what they felt. They felt like Too Short was worth this, and Ice Cube was worth this, and Snoop said, "No, I want to do everything equal." But with that, had to still make sense for Ice Cube and Snoop. Yeah. So I said, you know what, guys, I'll put it on my back. Live Nation said no, blah blah blah. They're not worth that, and I says, I definitely think they're worth that. And we did Ontario, which we always do. That sold out quick. Then we went to Nashville, sold 14,000 seats. That sold out quick.
In Nashville?
And then everybody wanted Mount Westmore. It's one of the most incredible shows you'll ever see in your life, bro. You're seeing real legends. Wow. Yeah, and they don't leave. They all stand. They sit in thrones. Yeah. And they wait till the other guy gets done, and then they hop in, and it's incredible, bro.
You know what? David had invited me to go to the one in Ontario. Yeah. Bro, he was like, bring your artist, because at that time I was working with the artist named Mr. D. Okay. And I really thought, Bobby, he was going to be the face of LA a year from that later. Yeah. And he said something to me. He was like, you know what? I just feel that I need to elevate my game. So I said this, look, my friend David invited me. If there's a possibility we can meet these guys backstage, I want to introduce you to them, because me being a producer, I can't give you what a rapper can give you. Right. Just meeting these guys, even if you just shake their hand and ask them a question, you'll be able to see the way they conduct themselves. These are professionals. It'll help you elevate your game.
Right.
He couldn't make it. I didn't want to go by myself, so I didn't go.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's kind of like when I first saw Dre the first time on turntables. Yeah. I was already good. I knew I can beat him.
Right.
But I said to myself, I won't do that to him because that's my idol.
Right.
You know, when I saw him on the drum machine, you know, genius, you know, I said like, okay, I can do what he can do now. Right. But back then, this is my idol. Yeah. I saw DJ Quick on the same drum machine. I'm like, okay, this guy is really, really dope. Yeah. I can do what he can do. But I'm like, I would never disrespect legends like that. Right. But they gave me something that I couldn't get off of Google or YouTube. Right. It's almost like they transfer something just by you being in the same room. Exactly. And that's one thing that I wanted to take him to meet these legends. But, you know, it's an experience, you know. And for the people that went and supported and paid for those tickets to go see all 4 of those legends, they walked away with something. Yeah. So that's
and it was a trip just being in that dressing room after the show. Like just sitting there like you're sitting amongst greatness. You know, you could feel that vibe, bro. And it's like, it's crazy just seeing them joking together, the camaraderie that was sincere and real. There was no beef. I mean, these guys really genuinely love and respect each other. So it was just like, sometimes I'd be sitting in that room, I'm like, man, this is surreal. I'm literally sitting in there with Ice Cube, Snoop, Too Short. And remember, Too Short's the oldest. People tend to think that he's the youngest because has songs a little more risque and all that, but he's the OG. And if you really look at the timetable, Short was doing music before anybody. You know that, bro.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like when he did Freaky Tales and all that, like Born to Mac.
Yeah.
That was right before NWA came out.
Right before. Think about that, bro. And a lot of people don't realize that also before that Born to Mac, he also had tapes, stuff out.
Yeah, he was selling mixtapes out of his trunk.
Yeah.
You know, and I represent, you know, Short, and man, like it's a trip, bro. To me, when you're sitting with him, like he's ageless. Like you can't put if you had to guess how old he was, you wouldn't know. And he just has that young spirit, bro. And whereas Snoop and all them, they have to be more guarded and have bodyguards. Like Too Short will literally go out by himself into the crowd, drinking people's tequila. Like he's a fool, bro.
No
shit. Know what I mean? And I mean that in a respectful way. But he blows me away, bro. He's just another humble dude, bro. That's just he is exactly how he raps.
I met him only one time. I've been places where he's been at, but I never went up to him. This was in 1992 at I think it was called the Gavin Convention in San Francisco. Right. And that's where I met him, and that's where I saw this bald-headed guy. I'm going to tell you a quick story. Yeah. So this bald-headed guy is wearing like some tribal gear, some camouflage pants, some huaraches, no socks. And he goes, "Hey, what's up, Tony?" And I was like, who in the hell is this guy? I didn't know who he was. Right. He goes, "You don't remember me?" And I was like, "No." He goes, "I met you a long time ago." I was like, "No." And he goes like, "Man, you don't listen to my music?" And I was like, "Bro, I don't even know who you are." And he said this, I'm not going to lie to you, Everlast.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Now, the last time I saw him, he was signed to Rhyme Syndicate. Right. That was 1980, from 92 to 1988. 40 years have passed now. And I saw him at the Anaheim Celebrity Theater. Right. Okay. And that's when he had the pompadour, and he was rapping Never Missing a Beat. Wow. To Do Wah Diddy. Right. And he just looked like a totally different guy. Yeah. So we went to his room, and he played it for me on a cassette, Jump Around. Right. And I knew automatically it was going to be a hit. Right. 6 months later, I didn't hear nothing. Almost a year later, that shit starts taking off. Right. Bro,
now, Muggs produced that as
well, right? Produced it. Yeah. Muggs produced it. I'm going to tell you why I liked it, because I was doing shows on Cypress Hill already, and many times Cypress Hill would come out to the Jump Around beat. Right. So he already had that track, but he just started rapping to it, and it worked.
That's dope, man. Like, we were just in London. I had booked a tour for Ice Cube in Cypress Hill, right? And we were at the O2 Arena. Okay. And there was about 15,000 people there, bro. And I actually sat down and watched the show because there was no business for me to do. This was all, we sold the show, the tour, and they opened up with, they ended with Jump Around, and the whole fucking crowd went nuts, bro. Like, and B-Real does this thing where he's like, they're all crouched down, and then right when the song, they just start jumping, and people are going nuts, bro. He integrates that in every show. It's just dope, bro.
Dude, those guys are amazing performers, bro. I remember me and High C did one of our first shows with them, and we went out there and we thought we wrecked it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Then here they come out, bro. We felt this small. Right. Like I was like, "Hey, bro, I think we need to work on our show. Right. I think we need better music."
Well, bro, that's what good entertainers do, and I love that you and Croft were so humble to acknowledge that you could always be better. Because again, bro, you guys were dope. Like sometimes, Tony, I think you underestimate just how much of a legend you are, and I'm saying that respectfully and truthfully.
Thank you.
But because you've been doing it so long, bro. Like I remember playing High C and You know, always having a badass DJ right there in the background. But bro, I would dedicate those like songs of girls as a clown, like, you know, I'm not your puppet, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? But I think sometimes you kind of you're just humble, bro. But I think you underestimate what a legend you are, bro. Like especially in California, like we love you, bro.
Thank you.
When you told me like let's get on some shows, I'm like, okay, shit. I've been waiting for you to say that because a lot of people told me I seen you guys weren't performing no more.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So it's dope.
Well, the thing with him is that he has started his own construction company, and every time I would hit him up, hey, bro, I think I could get us a show this weekend or whatnot. And he was like, you need to tell me this a month ahead of time because I'm really busy. Yeah. So I just finally just told him, hey, bro, I'm going to go talk to Bobby. Yeah. And we need to get our shit together. And he goes like, go talk to him. Let me know what he says, and I'll make it happen. Mm-hmm. Like when you hit me with that date, I hit him already. He goes, okay.
2 days. We have Bakersfield, and then we have New Mexico the day before.
Okay, awesome. So that's what I told him, and he was like, "I'm down." So,
and what I didn't want to do, Tony, is I didn't want to put you like in areas where like swap meets and all that, because again, not that there's not great people there, right? But I wanted to put you on what you guys deserve to be, which is Kings of the West. You know, that's one of the brands that I created, and I just think that you guys, that's your flowers. Like you should be there with Kings of the West. Bakersfield Blaze was actually going to be called that, but we just said let's wait till next year, which is this year.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, man,
Awesome. Thank you, man. I greatly appreciate that. Yeah. It always humbles me and it embarrasses the hell out of me. So we're gonna go ahead and change the channel. Okay, now I saw another one that kind of tripped me out a little bit, but it just goes to show me because you show hip hop, Spanish, Elvis, and then Danzig. Yeah. Okay. Did I pronounce it right?
Yeah.
Okay. Was this something that like, okay, I know he could sell out, or is this like one of your personal?
No, listen, he's been one of my favorites because he's the guy who created the Misfits. Okay, it was the biggest punk band in the world. It still is. Their logo skull.
The biggest logo ever.
Yeah, it's iconic. When I was young, I fell in love with his voice because I said, damn, Elvis is gone. He sounds just like Jim Morrison / Elvis. Yeah. And I started listening to him. I didn't realize at 16, 17 that he was not a devil worshiper, but his music was very Satan based. There was, pentagrams and blah, blah, blah. I didn't know any better, so I was wearing a cross upside down, and my mom flipped, bro. She's like, what the fuck is that? And I'm just like, I don't know, it's Danzig's. And she ripped it off my neck, and I ordered another one because you can get it through the mail.
Right.
And I just for forever, I loved his music. And I said, man, I hope one day that I can get, do a show with him. Right? This is like when I'm 18, 19 years old. Right. I told my dad, he goes, you're not even able to get no Danzig. Get out of here with that shit, And this is my 5th show with him. Wow. Yeah, we're doing the Misfits in August in Boston, Detroit, and in Texas. So it's like a dream come true. Then, sometimes they say like you shouldn't meet your idols because, you'll be disappointed. Right. He's definitely one of my idols, Ron. He never disappoints. Like he's just one of the coolest dudes on earth. If you see the people around him, there's Mexicans, there's blacks. Like it just blows me away, and it's so encouraging, bro, that he's such a cool dude because he's got a bad reputation for being an asshole, and he's just really not. He's just a genius. You know what I mean? Wow. Yeah. Wow. And he's been great to me, bro. A quick story. I was in. I went to Sunset Records to go meet him. This was like in what? Just do the math. Maybe 1997, 96. Okay. And I stood in line for about maybe 2-3 hours waiting for his autograph, and I was wearing an Elvis shirt, right? And I had my hair. When I had hair, I had my hair in a pompadour. It looked just like Elvis. And he looked at me and goes, "Damn, you look like a wetback Elvis," And I thought it was the funniest thing, and I thought it was so cool. But he wasn't saying it like, obviously it probably sounds bad. Right. But I thought it was the coolest thing, and I go, "Thank you." And he goes, "No, man." He goes, "I wish I could grow my hair like, at the time I had hair, Right. And I just thought it was the coolest thing. I reminded him of that. He goes, "I didn't say wetback." I go, "Yeah, you did." You did. And I go, "But I just thought it was the coolest thing, man." He goes, "I love you guys. I love Mexico." And he's really proven that, again.
Did you ever share that with him?
I told him. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, he laughed. He goes, "I didn't say that." I go, "Yeah, you did," And it's just cool, man. Like he went to his Halloween party this Halloween, and it's just cool, man, because he really is just a great guy. And this is a musical genius that could play any instrument. Yeah. Piano, violin, anything.
Yeah. Where is he originally from?
New Jersey.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Jersey.
So, all right. But, he lives in Hollywood, and he's just a genius, man.
That's dope. If you ever have anything like that around here, because I like his music too.
For sure.
But you mentioned another artist that I'm a huge, huge fan of, probably my favorite rock band of all time, Jim Morrison and the Doors. Yeah. So
my son loves Jim Morrison.
Oh, really?
He's a huge freak. I like Jim Morrison because he sounds like Elvis. Okay. That was my whole thing, is that anybody that had that, like Chris Isaac, Danzig, I love it, bro. When someone has a voice like that, it's just like, it's incredible.
That's dope. Yeah. That's dope. Let me ask you this. I know Elvis would be one, sure. But if you could hire, let's just say maybe 3 for a show, three artists or three groups that are no longer here, who would that be?
Jeez.
I know Elvis would be one.
Of course.
Okay.
I would have said Run DMC, the whole group.
Really?
Remember, one of them's gone.
Jam Master Jay.
Yeah. And it's different, bro. When you take one piece of the pie out, like I'll give you an example. You know, like Bone Thugs and Harmony. When it's all five, it's something incredible. Like Bone Thugs is amazing no matter what. But when they got that whole synergy, we did a High Hopes with my partner Ching Weisberg.
Yeah.
And we had Bone Thugs, and they hadn't performed for a long time together. When you have all five, it's just incredible, bro.
Right.
So when you take one of the key members out, you know, there's definitely a difference. Or if Crazy Bone, when he got sick, you know, it just goes to show how talented and each piece makes up that super group.
Right,
you know
right.
I mean? Like Mount Westmore wouldn't be Mount Westmore without Cube or Snoop or, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, now I wanted to ask you, as far as Bone Thugs, you know, why does, I don't want to say his name.
Sure.
Why doesn't he perform off? Because it's usually the four.
You know, I don't know, bro. I mean, I don't want to really speak on their business too much, but I just think that, you know, when you grow up in the business together, people get different mission statements, you know,
Right.
and they have different ambitions.
Yeah.
Busy Bone's a genius, bro.
Yeah.
But again, he's no more of a genius than Flesh, Wish, and Craig.
Yes.
So I think sometimes that happens where I just think they have different, you know, mission statements.
Okay.
You know, but the brothers that are there now are super tight.
Yeah.
And I think they all love each other no matter what. Because I've been privy to the conversations with them on the phone.
Yeah.
I just think, like I said, they all have just different visions now for where they're going.
Okay.
You know, but we're gonna do some stuff with all five pretty soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now one of the questions that people want to, well, we'll get to that one. I'll make them wait.
Sure.
But you're a booking agent. A lot of people know this already if they follow you on Instagram. Are we putting up these tags up there? Okay. And Norbert, can you get that door, please? And now it says that you're a booking agent for number one, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Ice Cube,
Yeah.
Exhibit, Keith Sweat, Warren G, Burner,
Yeah.
Be Real,
Yep.
Lisa, Mike Jones, Too Short, Mikey Jimenez, it's MKY,
Yeah.
E40.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's more that just don't fit.
Okay. Okay. Now, one of the ones that really stood out to me, because I think a lot of you guys from this generation, are watching, were probably born to a Keith Sweat song.
Right.
Okay, from the 80s. His first album, even though I love all of his music, his first album's, to me, the best one. Okay.
Make It Last Forever.
Make It Last Forever.
Right.
Okay. Then, of course, Lisa. Does she sing that song, All Cried Out, that slow song?
It's beautiful,
That's an amazing song, bro.
Yeah.
Then I see,
Full Force wrote that song.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, let me ask you this. I don't know. I don't know if it was an interview or somebody was talking about it on a podcast. She no longer works with them. There's bad blood. I don't want to speak on it. That's her business. But is Full Force still together from what you know?
Yeah,
of?
Full Force is still good. They're brothers. It's the cult jam that she broke away from, because Full Force were just writers for her. You know what I mean? It was a cult jam that she was a part of. It was two producers as well. And you know, she outgrew them and they outgrew her. You know? As far as bad blood, I think it was just part of the business that happened back then. You know what I mean? Dating all the way back from the 60s, 70s, 80s, you know, where artists just weren't getting what they're supposed to.
Okay.
You know, and I think she was one of them. I mean, she grew up literally at 14 years old singing, you know?
Wow.
So I think the first song she did, she was 15 years old. People didn't know that. You know, she emancipated from her mom when she was 15. So she was out there on her own as a little adult, not being an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah, she tells us stories, and I'm like, wow, it's crazy. You know?
That is crazy. I remember the first time I heard her music, it was M-Walk. He was one of the DJs from K-Day. He came to my brother's club in Long Beach, and he had the 12 inches. I'm trying to remember the name of the song, but it started with "Don't Stop," and that's the way you started.
Yeah.
Don't, and then he was like cut on two turntables.
Was it
Don't,
Let
don't,
the
don't.
Beat Hit Him?
I don't remember.
I think that was it.
Somebody in the live chat, please put it up. So, and then he started scratching like don't, double don't, double don't.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. So I said, what's that? And he goes, Lisa in the Coat Jam. Yeah. And that was the first time that I ever heard it because he was cutting it up. Yeah. And of course, after that, he was cutting up Full Force, Get Busy One Time. Yeah. Then they had Unselfish Lover. Right. Amazing group. So that's why I was just wondering if there's ever going to be a reunion. So,
I mean, we talked about it. You know, we Full Force has, and so is the Cult Jam. But you know, Lisa's kind of in a period in her life where she's just doing her. I'm always open for it because people love reunions, and I think that'll be good for for the public.
Yeah.
But she just stays busy. She says, "Look, let me know what's up, and let me know where to be, and we'll be there when the time is right." But she said it's got to feel right.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart, by the way. She's honest to God, she's the closest to like Mother Teresa I've ever met.
Really?
She's the sweetest person on earth. Honest to God.
Wow.
Like you feel that from her. Like she loves her fans. She's quick to cry about anything. Like she gets cried out all the time. You know what I mean? But she's just a really sweet person, and I'm really happy to be her manager. I'm proud to be her manager. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. You know, when I look at the list of the people that you're the booking agent for. Mm-hmm. Do you ever sit back and take it all in and think like, wow, I came a long way?
Yeah, let me tell you my Keith Sweat story. So I did a show, and I was about 17 or 18, and I don't know how I got Keith Sweat, you know what I mean? But I had him at QC's.
Okay.
And back then it was quite Cannon, and I didn't have enough money to pay him.
Really?
And he came backstage, and Keith is all about his business. He's a tax guy. He was a stockbroker, so he knows his money, like, and he goes, Bobby, let me ask you something. You ain't got my money, huh? And I said, no, sir. And I go, but I'm going to go pull a lick and go get it. He goes, boy, what did you just say? I said, I'm going to go pull a lick and go get it. And he goes, what you mean go pull a lick? He goes, because I'm from Harlem. He goes, pull a lick means you're going to go rob somebody. I says, yeah, I'm going to go rob somebody. I go, I'll be back. He goes, homie, there's all these people in the crowd. You can go pull a lick to pay Keith Sweat. He talks about himself in third person.
Oh, wow.
And I go, yes, sir, I'll do what it takes. I go, I'm really embarrassed. He goes, no, I'm going to teach you the business, young man. I'm going to go out there and do this crowd. He goes, and I'm going to get you right. He goes, we're going to talk about it later, all right? And he went and did the show, and then we made up for it at the Gibson Amphitheater. It was Genuine Joe and Keith Sweat. We sold out, paid him his due, paid him a little bit more. And to this day, I comfortably call him Uncle Keith.
Wow. When you said he talks about himself in the third person, it reminded me of Bumpy Johnson. I saw the whole series of The Godfather of Harlem.
Of Harlem, yeah.
Bro, I love it. I love that one.
Yeah, that show's dope.
When I go to New York, I stay in Harlem because my friend DJ Toro, who DJs for Raekwon, sometimes Ghostface, Cameron, and he does a show called This Is 50 for 50 Cent. Mm-hmm. When I go, he picks me up. We go to the building, and then from there we go to the subway. We go to Harlem. He gave me like the whole Harlem experience.
Yeah.
So Malcolm X spoke right here, and here's where he got killed. And I was like, because I'm a big Malcolm X fan, even though I'm not a Muslim.
Right.
But I love the passion and the drive that he had for his people.
Right.
So that's one thing that I love about him.
Yeah, that's amazing. And, getting back to Keith Sweat, like he lives in Atlanta now. I go to his house, and he's exactly how you would imagine. Like we were talking to him in the studio, right? And he had his shirt off the whole time. And he's flexing his chest, and he looks great for his age. Like he looks ripped like a bodybuilder.
Really?
Right? And my assistant was with me, and she's just looking at him, and he's flexing his chest, But he's exactly how you would imagine. He's got the candles everywhere. He's got big paintings of himself and draped in fur coats. But I'll tell you this, bro, like he's one of the coolest dudes on earth that, again, like I'm a Mexican cat, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And he's always treated me like I'm his nephew. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
And he's given me opportunities that no one has. You know what I mean? Like he's always said, hey, California, I go with Bobby D since he was a kid. And he tells people the story I just told you about 17 and pulling the lick. He's the one that reminds me of it all the time. He goes, man, this boy going to go pull a lick, pay Keith Sweat, Must be out your goddamn mind. I said, I had to do what I had to do.
Well, there it is there.
Yeah, so.
That's awesome. I do want to touch on something that you just had recently. Mm-hmm. Let me see. Okay, you had a sold out show where they're all sold out. Yeah. I think they were on the same day, if I'm correct. The Ludacris, Ja Rule, Ashanti, Little John, Fat Joe, Twista, Mike Jones. Mm-hmm. That one was, let me see if it says where's. Okay, sold out. Yeah. You got some legends there on the stage. Mm-hmm. Now, where was this one? Was this one?
New Mexico.
New Mexico, okay. Yeah. Obviously, you weren't at that one.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you had another one the same day, the Charlie Wilson one.
Right.
And that one had Daz Band, Midnight Star, SOS Band, Morris Day, Evelyn Champagne King, and then Charlie Wilson, once again, the Gap Band.
Yeah.
You were at that one.
Oh, yeah. I had to be at that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure you've done stuff with Morris Day before. Mm-hmm. That is one of the guys that, honestly, that would love to meet because that's probably the closest thing I'm going to get to Prince because Prince was like my idol growing up. Yeah. How was that show, man? Can you walk us through?
That was amazing, bro. Like the energy. Because look, first of all, Charlie Wilson normally doesn't do, a whole Gap Band thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we marketed the show is marketed as Charlie Wilson doing the Gap Band. right? He has his personal reasons behind it, and he definitely doesn't do shows with funk acts.
Oh, okay.
And I told his son, who's his manager, Michael Perrin, I said, look, bro, like over here in Cali, we want funk. We want to hear him do the funky. We want him to be with Daz Band. We want him to be with SOS Band. And he says, you know what? I think it's time. And Charlie's got a lot of love for me, bro. He's another one that has always just been very kind to me and giving me opportunities. He's not swayed by the whole Live Nation AEG thing. He's like, I go where it feels good. And he did that. We're doing Oakland April 27th. We're going back with the same show. Only Cameo is going to be on this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I had to be at that one. And, it was his birthday the next day. And then on Monday, he got the star on the Walk of Fame.
Oh, that's right.
So it was just special, bro. Like, and he told me, he goes, Bobby, I love you more than all the promoters. It's just, it feels so good hearing that. And I believe he was sincere. He had a chiropractor working on his back because, he gets physical on his shows. And I felt like, you want me to get out of the room? He goes, no. And it was hot as hell, bro. These artists keep their dressing rooms like 100 degrees, for their voice, for this, for that. I never understood it, but I'm real hot-blooded. So I was going insane, and I'm just like, and he's wearing 2 Rolexes, and it's just cool. I'm like, man, why am I complaining when this is a legend?
Right.
I need to shut the fuck up and just enjoy what I'm watching, even if another man's massaging me, he's dripping wet.
Right.
So it was cool, man. But that show was amazing. We got so many good reviews, and that's the best testament. Like when you get the reviews, good and bad, like you said. I love that you said that because I don't erase bad comments. It is what it is, But in this case, like I would say 100% we're all like, wow, that was amazing.
Right. Now, you know what? I do like to acknowledge people, like you said, even good or bad, because one day I remember my record came out. It was 1991, okay? Yeah. And everybody loved my mixtapes that we were selling to the Swami, but when my album came out, one guy bought it and he told me, man, I bought your tape and that shit sucked.
Right.
That's what he told me. And I said, you think so? They go, that shit was straight fucking whack. Yeah. And I was like, all right, cool. Yeah. So a couple of days later, we filmed a video at the swap meet, and he showed up.
Oh, wow.
And he comes up to me and goes, hey, man, do you mind if I, appear on your video? And I was like, all right, that's cool. Yeah. I said, no problem, just get in the back. Yeah. So he appeared in the back. Of course, the whole time he's...
And what year was this?
1991. Because
that's when you were like a Cholito-looking dude.
Yes.
Bro, that's crazy.
It was 1991, so get in the back. And he was the Mexican dude, kind of like curly hair, like I guess he was trying to look like Eazy-E or something.
Right.
And he found me on Facebook about 2 years ago, okay? And he goes, hey, I don't know if you remember me. And he screenshotted himself in the video. Yeah. He goes, this was me. So I left him a voicemail. I said, you're the one that told me that my shit was whack. He goes, bro, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm an older man now. I could tell you the truth. Yeah. I only said it was whack because I wanted to be you.
There you go.
He goes, I always talk shit about your mixtapes, but I would go home and duplicate them because I wanted to know how you did your mixtapes. Yeah. I met guys that have called me on here on the headphones and that I might get a few haters every once in a while.
Sure.
This guy called me up, talk crap to me. Okay, cool, whatever, man. I'm at the gym. Yeah. This is my address, right there by Ikea in Carson. I'm there 5 days a week, 12 o'clock. You can come meet me. Right. And he actually showed up.
Wow.
And he showed up to apologize.
Oh, wow. That's cool, bro.
So, yeah.
You know, one thing, like when we have a bad show, because look, whether it was the sound, this and that, I always get in front of it. Like we had a show that was really, like for me personally, like disappointing. Because they had sold out was with Tyrese and a bunch of other people, and the sound was off, and like that kind of stuff like really takes the life out of me, bro. Because you try everything to do right, sell the show out, it's sold out, and then production doesn't happen, the correctly. And instead of hiding and turning off comments, I just started responding to everybody that were legitly pissed.
Right.
And I started refunding money, cash apping people.
Oh shit!
I didn't realize how many of these people had a cash app, so I'm like, fuck, I'm sending cash apps to everybody. But we got in front of it, and they forgave us for the next show, and we came through, and everybody that really complained, we gave free tickets or their money back, and now that they DM me and say, man, bro, like we're at all your shows all the time, like thank you, like Live Nation or anybody else would have ignored us and said a la verga. Yeah, you were like, you were like, all right, let's do it, and I think it's important because people, they save their money, they work all week to go to your shows and this and that, and to me, I'm very conscious of that.
Okay.
And I do take it personal when things like happen the wrong way within my team. And I'm just like, where do we go wrong? Dude, I'm scary when I start going off.
This may be a strange question, but I need to ask it. Is there some acts that, and I'm talking about rappers, that you'll just stay away from, like you won't bother with them?
No, I mean, look, I try to understand them, and that's the best part about me being a manager and an agent, like the Dove Shack were very hard to understand. until I got to know them. C-Night, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
You know, all those guys, like, they're known as a very difficult group to work with.
Yeah.
But it's just because people didn't know our culture.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? So for me, it's like I do know the culture because I was raised in it. So I understood what they wanted. They wanted to feel like they were in 1997 when, you know, Dove Shack came out. The songs that they had, you know, This Is the Shack and Summertime in the LBC. At one time, these artists were huge artists, bro, that were doing platinum, you know. So I try to make them feel like it's 1997 again.
Okay.
Know? So, and, you know, and they really, really, like, we get personal with each other. They text me, Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, but so there's really no one I wouldn't want to work with. I just don't like people that are rude to the fans.
Yeah. Okay. What about an artist like a Kanye West?
Well, what's interesting is, you know, I don't know if I should even be saying this, but I'm more than likely going to do a show with him because I think he's misunderstood as well.
Okay.
You know, I want to get to know him before I really make that move, and we're supposed to talk tomorrow. We'll see, but it's supposed to happen in March.
Dope.
Yeah.
Okay. What about people? Oh, you did. I think the show got canceled. I'm not sure. Maybe you could fill us in.
Mm-hmm.
You even had Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill's happening April 4th, Friday. Listen, it's tough dealing with geniuses because, again, you know, I think sometimes they get so overwhelmed with their own genius that weird things happen. And, you know, I've had to deal with some of the artists like that. In her case, though, she canceled a lot of the tour because of her voice. Remember, she's doing Lauryn Hill, and then she's doing the Fugees in one night.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's harsh on a singer, especially doing two or three nights in a row. I'm just hoping that the public will forgive because she is coming, and it's going to be dope. That's dope.
That's dope. Yeah. Now, I got to mention one of his favorite artists is Travis Scott. What about a guy like him?
He's a madman, bro. Like I saw him at, I went to go see an artist named Nav, who I really, really like, right? I saw him at the Novo, and Travis Scott came out as a special guest. No one knew. And, bro, he made me feel like I was on Scante, bro. Like, I started getting up and getting all crazy. I'm like, I don't even like this guy, and I'm acting all crazy with him. So I could see how he unfortunately started a riot because he's fucking dope, bro. Like, his energy is, like, infectious. I'm vibing, I'm jumping up, and I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this? You know? And I said, damn, he's bad. You know, whereas Nav, you know, he's a little Egyptian rapper from New York.
Right.
Oh, from Canada, sorry. And I was just vibing out, chilling, and then Travis Scott came and just tore the whole place up. I'm like, wow. So,
wow.
But he's on another level.
Two controversial rappers. Well, maybe one of them is like a Tekashi. Mm-hmm. You ever been in any type of talks with him?
They wanted to offer us Tekashi, but to me, it's just like, if you're all about just theatrics, bro, because the sad part is he's actually a really dope entertainer live. Like, he's another one that just has boundless energy. I've seen him live, but there's too much controversy with him, bro. Like at some point, like I said, like, you're gonna get people hurt behind your bullshit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Whether someone's gunning for him, you know, this and that. It's like, I don't want to put kids in that position. And I've been offered some very, very, very lucrative deals with him, and I passed. Again, he represents, you know, Brown, and he's Mexican, but I just don't want to put people in danger where they can get hurt.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. There's an artist here that I had here, and I just want to touch a little bit on him because I know when we had our meeting, you had mentioned that you were going to bring him here, and that was Mikey Jimenez.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is it that you saw in him that you said, you know what, I'm going to pick him up, and I'm going to put him on the road?
You know what I've seen in him is Elvis.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, look, he's like this great-looking kid. He's got a voice because he comes from a lineage of music. His father is Mikey Jimenez Sr., then his grandfather is Mikey Jimenez, you know, in the Power. Yeah. And then he has an uncle that was part of a big Latino group. He performed the Midnighters for a while. But I mean, bro, like, this kid can play the piano, the guitar. And like I said, when women get in front of him, they just melt.
Yes, you know? I've seen him perform twice. I think his second performance, I was there. And Bash, being Bash, we had never met, but we had always messaging each other on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then we exchanged numbers. And I think for a whole year, me and Baby Bash were just talking about trying to bring him on here. Right. So one day he just calls me up and he goes, hey, man, I'm going to be performing in Long Beach. Why don't you just come through? And I said, all right. So I park in Long Beach, and then he pulls up with, I think Big Hev, his manager.
Yeah, Big Hev.
They pick me up, and then I see this kid with a tank top, you know, and some like nice old school pants, you know, and he's got his guitar and everything. Mm-hmm. Bash is about to bring him on. Right. So I'm thinking, who was this guy that Bash just keeps hyping up? Yeah. So I turn around and I look at him, and he's like this. And he's praying right before he goes up on stage. And I was looking at him, I was like, wow. Yeah. So he went out there and started singing his songs. Mm-hmm. When he came back, I said, hey, bro, that shit was pretty good. He goes, I was praying.
Yeah.
He goes, this is only my second show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
he's such a humble dude. And Bash is another one that has an eye for an ear for talent. And, you know, he's the one that really took a chance on Mikey as far as taking him to that next level and mentored him. And, you know, I kind of stepped in, and we have some collaborations with Bash. But Bash is one of those guys, bro, that just knows how to find talent.
Yeah.
He always has with Natalie, you know, all the people he broke.
Yeah.
But Mikey's going to be huge, bro. We're working on some stuff, and he's another one that can do gospel. He can do, you know, reggaeton. He can do pop, but he really wants to do R&B. That's his passion. Yeah. Yeah, and he's got the voice, bro. Like we've been doing videos for him, and the Avila brothers are writing all his music right now. Awesome. And I think he's going to be the next Elvis. You know? Awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. Hey, if anybody knows it, it's Bobby D knows it.
It's Elvis. You know?
Elvis, yeah. Elvis. Okay. Now, the question that everybody was hitting me up for today was Peso Pluma. How did that come about?
Okay. So I get a call from my uncle, who's my entertainment attorney and my mentor, and he calls me and says, "Hey, come to the studio, which is Prahin Studio. It's out there in Anaheim." And I said, "Okay." He goes, "You're gonna do this tour with this kid named Peso Pluma." And I go, "Who?" And I said, "Okay." And I trust my uncle because my uncle's put me with Banda MS. He's put me with Firme. He's put me he's the one that gets all the immigration papers. Oh. So he knows who's who and who's coming and who's going to be the next big thing. And not only that, but I worship my uncle. He's just the best.
So when he told you about Peso Pluma, what year was this? Was it last year, the year before?
In April last year.
And then you said who?
Yeah, I said who. I mean, respectfully.
Yeah,
you know I didn't know, so I start looking him up, and at that time, Peso was only wearing a mask. He was constantly wearing a ski mask. So I'm like, well, what does he look like? You know, I seen this little flaco dude. Yeah. But I already liked his imagery he was portraying. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I never question what my uncle says. If he tells me to jump off a bridge, I'm gonna say, all right, cool, let's just jump. You know, that's how much love and respect and trust I have. Yeah. So I got to the studio and I seen my buddy Prahin, who owns Prahin Records. He just got a Grammy with Peso. Awesome. And Arminio, the other co-manager. And we're shooting around. I go, okay, well, give me his numbers. Like, what does he have on Spotify? And I think he had maybe 40 or 80,000. I'm like, okay. And how many shows has he done? They go, none. They go, he was washing dishes not too long ago in New York. And I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, that's what I said. And I said, and my uncle just shook his head. He goes, yes, you know. I'm like, okay, well, what do you want to do? And I'm thinking like a nightclub or, you know, something like because he was going to do the Farallon in Linwood.
Fuck, I haven't heard of Farallon in the fucking years. Do you remember Potreros?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So I said, okay, what do you guys want to do? And they said, Toyota Arena. And I said, holy shit. I said, that's 9,000 people. And my uncle says, just trust the process. I said, okay, cool. So long story short, we agreed to do it. I met with some people, and they tried to convince me not to do it. They said, you're going to flop. And I said, no, I'm trusting the process. And we sold out in 10 minutes. And after that, he catapulted, bro. Wow. I'm talking about 9,000 tickets in 10 minutes. You know? And when I finally saw what he looked like, I'm like, oh, shit, he's a good-looking kid, too. I'm like, okay, cool. I thought he was hiding it for a reason. You know? Yeah. But it was just that whole Spider-Man thing he was creating. You know what I mean?
Okay. So you went on your uncle's word, whom you know, I'll bet the house on my uncle's word, right. Okay? But you didn't know nothing about Peso Pluma, no. And he's telling you, go get the 9,000 arena.
Right. And I had a whole tour. Matter of fact, it's funny you brought up Danzig because, you know, he had told me to sign the contract when I was at my Danzig show. Danzig was performing Elvis. So it was like a double whammy for me. Wow. And I was just like telling my uncle, I'm like, okay, I'll sign. I said, just give me till tonight. Like leave me alone. I'm over here watching, you know, Danzig, my idol, do Elvis. And he goes, sign the contract, dude. You know, it was for a whole arena tour. So long story short, I didn't sign it, and Live Nation got involved. So they kind of not swooped him, but they definitely got more involved. You know what I mean? I had to share Peso Pluma. And everywhere we went, we would put it on sale. In 2 minutes, it was sold out. 1 minute, it was sold out. And it was just incredible.
Okay, now here's my question from the outside looking in. You being a successful promoter and then never hearing of this kid, right. You go get the 9,000, 9,000 seat arena, and then it sells out in 10 minutes. Didn't at one point you wonder, okay, what the fuck was this? Like, how did this happen?
No, because, you know, we had done Nata and Junior H, and it sold out, but we just, like I said, like it was destined to be. Because right after that, Live Nation had plans to do their thing with him. Yeah. In small little clubs. When they saw what I did, they're like, oh, shit. Like, he just did it in Ontario, not even L.A. You know, there's a big difference between Ontario and L.A. Like, L.A. is where it's supposed to be popping. Yeah. I just found a place where I didn't want to compete with nobody. That's why I went to Ontario.
Yeah.
And if you know your demographics, all the Mexicans and Chicanos, we all moved to the IE.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because it's cheaper, you know, yada, yada, yada. So I always knew there was a big people, you know, base of our people out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Blacks too, whites, Chinese, but mainly it was Latinos that got away from the hood for whatever reason. Or,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's been my home. And I just knew it was going to, I said, if we do it here in Ontario, this guy's going to be the next big thing. And he was, you know?
Wow.
Every single arena, bro. They only got bigger. We went from 10,000 people arenas to 20,000 people arenas to now this year's going to be stadiums. So it's just like.
Do you think it surprised him?
I think he knew he was going to be what he is.
Okay.
But he's another humble one. It was very overwhelming in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then when the reality set in that, hey, holy shit, this is what it takes. Like it wore on him. He got very physically tired. Because once you take off like a rocket, bro, there's no turning back. You know, he did 54 shows from a guy that's never done a show.
Yeah, from washing dishes,
right?
Never done shows, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
you just take the hell off.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's just like I said. To me, I think he had that confidence, and when he did his first show in Ontario, everybody who was in attendance was blown away at. Like, that was his first show. They couldn't believe it. Because he does the Elvis dance, too. I don't know if you know that, but that was influenced by the thing where he does his leg.
oh, okay.
He does this thing where he does like a step.
Uh-huh.
And it's just incredible, man. So it was great to be a part of that. And then knowing that they just won a Grammy for Genesis, the album,
Yeah.
is just more testament to, like, just how incredible life is. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. 2024, anything you got lined up with Peso Pluma?
We have some shows that we're going to co-pro with him. It's probably not going to be as many, but I have a lot of other tours that are taking our time up. You know, I'm doing that stuff with Chang and Be Real. You know, we just got a lot of things, man. Then I got some big Banda shows coming. We got more variety shows because I always like to get people like look, I'll never have Taylor Swift. You know what I mean? But I'll have Key Sweat. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'll never have, you know, probably Justin Bieber, but I got, you know, Charlie Wilson.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Is there anybody that you've tried to get and you just couldn't?
That happens all the time, bro. Especially when I first started. Like, I would get hung up on. Like, the first time that I got a hold of Ciara, the lady answered on accident because I kept calling WME. Well, it was called William Morris back then. And she would hang up on me. Kara Lewis, hang up on me. And then I called one day and she accidentally picked up her personal line. And she's like, what? And I'm like, and she goes, answer before I hang up. I'm like, I need to book one of your artists. And she's like, who is this? And she goes, where's Montebello? She goes, and I could tell right when I said East LA, she went, you know, like, oh, all right, you know?
Right.
But she took my call and we had Ciara and then Akon and then Rihanna and then, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's just nuts, bro.
I had a buddy of mine. I'll tell you a quick joke. So you guys learning, I'm going to kick game real quick from somebody that's been real successful.
Right.
He was DJ Quick's manager, Second to None's manager, AMG's manager, BG Knockout and Dre's manager, Domino's manager, Mocha's Test manager, my boy Greedy Greg.
Wow.
Okay. He told me that when he was trying to get bookings, like he was looking for shows for his ex, just tell him that Gregory, and he will leave his last name. No, he goes, nobody ever called me back. Nobody. He goes, and many times when they would answer, hey, I'm trying to get a show, they just hang up, same thing.
Right.
So finally, some girl told him, what you need to do, you need a name, bro. And he was like, a name? What do you mean? My name Gregory this.
Right.
Nah, come up with something, man. You're trying to make that money, right?
Yeah,
Get greedy with it. For now on, you're fucking Greedy Greg.
There you go.
So he was like, and his voice was like, there's no bass. All right, I'll try it.
Right.
So he would leave a message. Yeah, this is so-and-so, not calling him so. Tell him Greedy Greg called. He said, everybody called back.
And then Quick help because he goes, Greedy Greg is in the house, so don't even trip.
Right,
You know?
right.
Yeah.
He said, after that, everybody called back. He goes, I guess it worked.
Yeah.
So maybe sometimes
Somebody's got to find your persona. Like, people always say, like, Bobby D. They're like, you know, it's funny because a lot of the big wigs always laugh like, who's Bobby D? You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know. If you try to pronounce my last name, you won't get it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's just one of those things. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was our moniker that my dad's had since the 80s. You know what I mean?
Wow, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. Okay. Just a couple more and we're almost out of here.
No worries, brother.
Alex, did you have any super chats over there? Okay, because usually they have some questions. Go ahead.
We actually just have one.
Okay.
The name is Pues Ya Te Digo Tú. They dropped $2. He said, "Y Reggie Wright saying Johnny J was just a beat maker." I don't know what that means.
Okay, well, Johnny J was a beat maker. He was a producer. I knew Johnny J. He was the he produced all of Tupac's hits. He produced Candyman's first album. He produced Knockin' Boots, Made in Your Melt in Your Mouth. I know Johnny J's whole, pretty much his whole catalog. I want to say a couple of months before he passed away in county jail, I talked to him, and he had him and Tupac's mom got together, and they had about 80 songs, and he contacted me and told me, I'm gonna need some producers, bro. When I get out, I'm gonna go to jail for a little bit. When I come back, he goes, I live out here in Acton. I want you to come through, man. And I'm working with Tupac's mom. She's suing Suge for $100 million. I never got one penny from the whole Tupac album. That's what he said. Right. And I was like, really? He goes, but I want you to come help me, bro. And I was like, okay. Bro, and he never made it out, bro.
Wow.
He never made it out. Here's how I found out about it. I was so happy. I was like, yes. I'm going to get to work with my boy. I go to eat breakfast. I open up the newspaper, and there he was, Johnny J. No way. And the weirdest thing is that a couple of years later now, I'm working out. My boy's training me, my boy Yellow Ice. And I'm talking to him about Johnny J. Mm-hmm. And there's a guy next to me, a brother, and he says, hey, you knew Johnny J? And I said, yeah. He goes, how did you know him? So I started telling him. Right. He said, okay. He goes, hey, man, when you're done working out, meet me outside. And I was like, what the hell is this guy? Right. So he shows me his badge. He's a deputy in county jail. Okay. And he says, I made Johnny J a trustee. He goes, I was there when he took his own life.
What year was this?
I don't remember honestly the year. Matter of fact, I can probably look it up. Mm-hmm. But
the reason why I'm asking is in 1999 I was locked up in Wayside. I was on 3rd level maximum lockup. For some really bad things. Shit. And I remember being blown away. First of all, I didn't know prison politics and jail politics. Yeah. So again, growing up the way I grew up, yes, I was used to talking to black people, white. Yes. You know, I can kind of move with whatever because that's how I was raised.
2008.
Okay, there you go. So this is in 99.
Yeah, he was 39 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't know politics, so I'm over there rapping with the black guys. And I was a trustee, that's why I asked. I was wearing the green jumpsuit. And I finally got checked by the fellas you get checked by. And I said, I didn't know. And they go, no, we figured that. I say, blah, blah, blah. You look like a businessman. But I say, yeah. And then they looked at my wristband. They're like, oh, shit, you must have done something stupid. I had a purple wristband on. That meant you did something stupid. And I said, yeah. He goes, look, no more of that shit. But my point is that I was talking to this producer guy that was on the phone. I guess he paid the other black people in there to be on that phone all the time. Yeah. And when I saw how serious he was, I don't know, to this day, I don't know his name and I don't know, but he was always on the phone about his record business, right? And I was blown away by how serious he took it. And that kind of inspired me to stop doing the knucklehead shit. Yeah. I'm like, dude, like, what am I doing? Like, I got an empire that I could create with my dad. Yeah. Like, why am I might get 55 years of my life for this.
Holy shit.
You know what I mean? And, just being young, dumb, and full of, but,
full of testosterone.
Yeah, exactly. But he actually inspired me to get my shit together. And to this day, like I said, I don't know what his name was. I don't know what company he had, but he was always on the phone talking business about records. Yeah. Because you overhear it, you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what made me take this whole shit serious.
I'm not going to harp too long on this, but it wasn't until 1994 that I learned about the whole politic thing. Right. I wasn't in county jail that long, but I was there. And I remember my very first breakfast. I didn't know how things ran in there. Right. The cops just asked me, well, who do you run with? And I was like, what do you mean? Mm-hmm. And like, are you in a gang? You're not a gang. Are you a blood, a crib? You a SA? What gang? What do they call you? Are you homosexual? They ask you all these crazy things. Right. And I'm like, okay. So I told them everything. So I went and sat down by myself. Then my table starts getting filled. And then there was a brother on the other bench. Yeah. And he asked me, hey, man, you going to eat that? And it was a sausage. Yeah. So I just said, I don't know. You could take it. And I gave it to him. Some older guy comes up to me. Yeah, comes up to me and goes like this. And I was like, okay. Right. And he goes, do you know what you just did? And I was like, no, I just sat down right down. Right. And he goes, you gave it to him. He goes, you don't give it to him. Right. He goes, if you don't give it to one of us and none of us want to, just throw it away. Right. And I was like, why? Yeah. It was weird to me because out here, Raza and Black, we all grew up together. So that was the only thing that was weird. So when you said that, I guess we all learned.
No, but it's funny, bro, because I remember when I got checked, and the dude was really cool. He was the leader of the dorm, and you know what I mean? Like, I got up because I was like, okay, how you did, very innocent. And I didn't question why. I already knew. I was smart enough not to question why. But when I got up to get up, he grabbed me, and like in Blood and Blood Out. You know shit! I mean? And I go, what the fuck, And he goes, you do that. And I'll let you know if you can get up. I'm like, oh, feed me. All right, cool. I'm like, shit, this is great. I told my mom and dad, I go, I got to get the fuck out of here. This ain't for me, I got to be out there and make money the right way now. So, and that's when I just started to take everything serious and everything started happening. thank God, and
Yes.
you know what I mean.
All good.
So yeah, brother.
Okay, I see on your page you're promoting some shows, so I kind of want to talk about that. I don't know if you care to elaborate on it. February 10th, which is soon, in Las Vegas, West Coast Hip Hop All Stars.
Yeah.
Okay, I know Too Short. I believe Quick, if I'm correct. and a
Quick,
couple
Mac
other-
10, Second or None, Drew Down. It's gonna be dope, bro.
That's
It's
dope.
gonna be during the whole football weekend. You know, this weekend. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's right.
It's gonna be
That's
Super
right.
Bowl.
So you're going to be out there? Then? Are you going to the game?
No,
Oh, okay.
I'm telling you, bro. Like, I'd rather watch it at home because I don't like being around big crowds like that. Something stupid always happens, no matter what.
Very true.
You know what's crazy? I went to an Oakland game, right? Because I was on my bucket list, bro. I had a girlfriend at the time, and she very innocently asked the security guard, "Hi, where's the bathroom?" She goes, "Bitch, I don't know. Figure the fuck out."
Damn.
Oakland's wicked, bro. Like, they don't fuck around. And she's wearing a security shirt. I'm like, oh, Spence, you just don't fuck around in Oakland, bro. Like it was just crazy. So that was my like first time watching a football game. I'm like, in the last, you know. And I'm sure, like, I watch these crazy white people fighting in Pittsburgh and in Green Bay.
Right.
I'm like, oh, it's not just us. All right, cool. You know?
Right. Yeah, like I know I saw one. I don't know if it was. I don't remember who the team was, but they were playing the Cowboys at their new stadium, and they were throwing madrazos like this, you know, trunk punches.
Right.
And I'm thinking, wow, all over a game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. To me, it's not that serious, bro.
Yeah, it's like I'm a diehard Cowboys fan, but damn, if I'm gonna say fuck your team, no, fuck your team, come on.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna do it.
And that's the hardest part, bro. Like when I go to a Dodgers game, you know, I take my daughter and I see these fools, especially like when Frisco comes or San Diego to a degree.
Yeah.
I'm like telling people it's not that serious, bro,
It's not
because
that
you're being
serious.
watched by everybody.
Yes.
You know, you go and like look at that guy that got brain damage. It's like all that shit happened from the Frisco team in front of his kids and his family. It's like, damn, bro, over what?
Yeah.
Like, you're not even gang banging. You're just like fucking game banging, I guess. Not gang, game banging.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like you ain't making no money off the Dodgers. The fuck? You know?
No money at the Dodgers. You know, my son Brian, I wish he was here. He played Pop Warner like for 7 years.
Yeah.
One of his coaches told me, "Hey, bro, you know what? Can you help coach the wide receivers this weekend, because I'm going to go to an Oakland game and I'm not going to be here for our games." Like, all right, cool, whatever. Yeah. Well, little I knew, I was coaching with my son's on Pop Warner team. Yeah. Well, the guy never came back. He ended up making bail, and he ended up coming back and telling the coach, "I'm in a lot of trouble.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going to be able to, to be coaching anymore. Please take care of my sons. Most likely I'm gonna be gone for a long time."
Right.
So I walked into his car and I said, "What the hell happened, bro?" Yeah. And he just straight told me, bro, I was stupid. And he goes, "I got all fucked up. The biggest regret of my life." He said, he's a Raiders fan. He goes, "We were in Oakland. There was a 49er. He goes, there was a 49er fan right in front of me."
Yeah.
And he kept saying, fuck your team, fuck your team. He goes, they were whipping our ass. So I just grabbed him, bro. And then I choked him out. I didn't realize that he died.
Oh, wow.
He goes, I thought I just put him to sleep.
Right. You probably did a karate choke. It's different from a jiu-jitsu choke, because when you grab someone like that, it's called a karate choke. You're not cutting off their arteries. You're breaking their windpipe.
I think that's what he did. And
it's illegal. You know, that kind of choke's illegal. It's called a karate choke.
Yeah, right? So he goes, I just put him down. He goes, then after the game, his girl's trying to wake him up. He goes, and then they called the police because he wouldn't wake up, and he told me to wait right there. They arrested me. He goes, I just barely made bail. He goes, I know I'm going to be gone, bro.
Yeah,
and
he's done.
Yeah, he was done.
It'll probably be involuntary manslaughter because it wasn't intentional.
Right.
But that choke's very dangerous. It breaks your windpipe. So it's not the choke, that it's him breaking the windpipe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And all over again.
All over again, bro. That's why I'd rather stay home and watch pizza, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Just do it from home.
Exactly, okay. And then you have all-time high, May 4th in Ontario.
That shit's going to be dope. I mean, literally, it's going to be dope. Everyone's going to be doped out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you have, if I'm correct, I saw this on your page, Lil Wayne, March 16th in New Mexico.
We have March 14th in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and then March 16th in New Mexico. And then in July, we have Texas.
Awesome.
I'm super excited, man. Lil Wayne's like one of the dudes that like I grew up on.
Awesome.
I mean, that shit's sick.
You know, okay, there's 365 days in a year, unless you go by a different calendar. How many shows do you put together a year?
As many as God will let me. You know?
Really?
Sometimes we say like, oh, that's it. You know, then opportunities just pop up, bro. Like I'll get a call from a manager or an artist, and they'll say, hey, we want to fuck with you. I'm like, okay, cool. Like Kanye. That thing just fell in our lap, bro. It's crazy how that's happening. And, you know, it's also crazy to see the politics of the world.
Yeah.
There's stadiums in Germany that says we're not interested, this, that, you know, and it's just a wild situation. If it happens, I'd really like to get to know if he's really what people are saying, or if it's just, you know, what the media wants it to be portrayed. You know what I mean?
Right.
I always take people for who they are, not what I hear.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna share my Kanye story because I shared like 3 times here, but I actually had a chance to see him this close, and it was at the older Amoeba Records.
Yeah.
I want to say it was maybe like, I don't know, I was still working, so it was like 2016, somewhere around there.
Right.
And I was looking at some music, I was looking at some CDs, and then I look up and I see this guy's gold grill, and I said, that guy looks familiar. I'm thinking to myself, that guy looks familiar. Yeah. So that was really him. So I was going down the aisle. By that time, I was trying to go down his aisle, and I realized some white guy with a suit came out of nowhere, and he went like this to me. And I said, what's up? And he said, oh, Mr. West doesn't want anybody going through that aisle. And I said, why? Right. You know, my money is just as good as his. Yeah. You know, and he goes like, no, you just can't. And then he turns around. I said, bro, I'm just trying to look at the music you're looking at. I'm not asking for no pictures or nothing. Yeah. I just want to go. I go, I'm not even a fan. I was. Yeah. But I go, I'm not even a fan. And he got really scared. He was like, no, it's just that I'm just here just to buy. I said, bro, I just want to walk by. Yeah. I'll go over there. Right. Okay. And he was like, no, it's just, and I go, fuck it, bro. So I walked away. Yeah. My daughter comes by. She's walking by. Thank God my daughter's very attractive. My daughters are beautiful. Right. He turns around and he goes, hey. He goes, hey. And my daughter turns around and she goes, come here. Yeah. And she goes, no, it's okay. And I'm watching from a distance. Yeah. She goes, come here. So he pulls out a card and wants to give it to her. He goes, do you know who my wife is? And she goes, no.
Kim Kardashian, right?
Yeah. And he goes, you don't know who my wife is? He goes, no. She goes, come here, take my card. Yeah. He was like, no, it's okay. So I come back and I go, what's up, man? Yeah. He goes, bro, you know what? This is a modeling agency. I think your daughter. No, you don't even want to talk to me, bro. Right. I said, we're good. So my daughter to me, who was that? I go, that guy's married to that lady, Kim Kardashian or something. Yeah. That's what I told him. Yeah. So I wanted them to make feel stupid because they made me feel stupid.
Yeah, of course. But you know, it's tough, bro, because I saw this thing on TMZ the other day where they mob him, right?
He's wearing that mask?
Yeah. And think about what the lady said.
Yeah.
Like, does your wife have any free will? Like, in other words, that lady was basically telling Kanye, like, you're holding her hostage.
Yeah.
And, like, that's the kind of stuff, bro. It's like, man, like, the media sometimes sets you up to fail. You know, and he reacted because it's like, dude, like here you are, you're in this, what looks like a loving relationship. They're holding hands, and, you know, he likes to dress them up like dolls, whatever, right?
Right.
And for her to say that, basically, he's just saying that, you know, like, is he brainwashing you? That's why he got mad and took her phone right in front of the Huda.
Yeah.
You know, and technically, that's robbery, like, you know,
in
assault. But Kanye's like, arrest me then, fuck it. Like, you're not going to just tell me that I'm brainwashing my wife or I'm holding her against her will. So it's like, people set him up, bro.
Very true. Very true. And another thing, honestly, is that this is just me and this is just my heart.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to go up to a man and ask him about his wife.
Right. Exactly.
What business do I have asking you, hey, man, so is that your daughter?
Exactly.
Like, then maybe I should expect to get knocked the fuck out. Of
course.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So, but I don't know. That's just me, though.
No, you're absolutely right, bro. I have a daughter. I'm very protective of her, and, you know, sometimes maybe too protective because that's how we are as fathers, especially with our little girls.
Absolutely.
But again, family should always be off limit. You know, anytime someone brings up your family, bro, that's just like, you got an instant ass whipping coming.
Yeah, you know? Yes. Whenever I do a podcast, I bring up, this is what I don't want to talk about. You don't bring up my family unless I bring them up.
Right.
That's it. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay, cool, whatever. So, really quick, Alex, anything you wanted to ask? I know before the show you had asked me you wanted to ask him a question.
Yeah, no, he pretty much answered it about Kanye West because he was saying that venues weren't hiring him at all, and that there was one person fucking with them.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, like I said, bro, it's tough because he did say some things that you can't go back from about Jewish people, and I think, like I said, sometimes, like I said, there's a certain point where you shouldn't say certain things, no matter, you know, again, because it might have been misunderstood. Do I think that he hates people? No, I just think he's like an insane genius. You know what I mean? Because here at one point he's saying, you know, I'm going to go nuclear on all the Jews, but then he's saying, but we are Jewish. You know, black people are Jewish. So it's just like, I don't know what goes under that man's head, bro. But I genuinely don't think that he hates people. I just think that he's like Michael Jackson. Yeah. Misunderstood.
There's a speculation about that they're saying that he the only reason he did all that is to get out of his contracts, because in order for him to get out of the contracts, he would have to say some anti-Semitic stuff.
I mean, that's a hardcore thing because a lot of the businesses are ran by Jewish people, and like I said, bro, say what you will, but everybody gets opportunities. Like the people that are the producers, a lot of them are all Jewish, and when you go against like what Mel Gibson did, it's just one of those things where it's like, bro, like just if you're not gonna say something that's positive, why say it at all? No matter how you feel,
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially like as Latinos, bro, we have our feelings about blacks, this and that.
Yeah.
But don't go out there and say it. Like, just keep it to yourself because you might get knocked out. You might get hated on. It's like, bro, like if you got hate, just go to church. Go figure it out. You know what I'm saying, bro?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Or be willing to throw chingazos with that person and do it like a man. You know what I mean?
And I'm glad you said that. And this sets it up for this question.
Right.
This is probably my last question, but I want us to elaborate a little bit more. Podcasting.
Right.
Okay. When I started this, Bobby, I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Right.
I go back and look at like my episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I sound like a fucking interrogator because I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
And I always share this, and my fans know this. In 2002, I got out of the music industry. It wasn't until the end of 2005 that Quick calls me and says, I want you to come DJ for us.
Right.
Where me and AMG are doing a song called The Fixers. They did a song called Can You Work With That?
Right.
I want you to come DJ for us. So for that 2006, I took a break from my work. I went to go DJ with them for that entire year. And then after that, I said, I'm going back to work.
Right.
So 2007 and 2017, I just didn't listen to no music. So I come back into this innocently because I find out my ex-manager passed away.
Right.
I do my own documentary out of my own money. I don't know how to promote it. Do I buy an ad in a newspaper? Do I buy a bench at a bus stop? Do I buy an ad in a magazine? I was thinking old school ways.
Right. Right.
And people were saying it's all social media. And I was like, what is that? I didn't know what Spotify was. I didn't know anything.
Right.
YouTube. Okay, how do I do YouTube?
Right.
So I literally got on Instagram and I just started following Kid Frost, whoever I can find.
Yeah.
And one guy goes, ask that guy, he's doing interviews. And I said, but what's he going to interview me for?
Right.
And he says, promote your podcast.
Right.
I mean, your documentary. And I said, okay. So I hit him up. Hey, I'm doing a documentary. Do you mind, interviewing me? They would say, no, I don't know who you are.
Right.
So literally I was begging people. So it wasn't until my last podcast that I did where one guy finally decided to go live on YouTube. And I said, how do you go live on YouTube? And my boy was there at the time. So he's a good computer whiz guy. So he kind of figured it out. Said, I want to do something like this. I want to go live. I want people to see me. He said, no, we'll just audio tape it and then put it on Spotify for people to hear. And I go like, no, dude. Look, I remember when Power 106, when they had LL Cool J. And LL Cool J was being interviewed, I believe, by the Baker Boys. And I was glued in the 90s listening to that interview. But in my mind, I wanted to see LL answer those questions.
Right.
So that's why I decided to go against the grain and said, I'm going to go live. Everybody told me don't go live. And it worked.
Right.
Okay. So now I was always encouraging Raza, now that we have technology, now that we have a voice, now that we have, a way to communicate, promote, shine light on ourselves, let's do it.
Right.
It's been 4 years now since I've been podcasting. My question to you is, do you watch podcasting at all? And who are some of your favorite podcasters?
To be honest with you, not really. You're one of the ones I watch, but to be honest with you, no, but not really because I don't know who to watch. You know what I mean? I'm too busy with what I do.
Yes.
I've been asked to be on podcasts, and I normally say no, because I don't find myself that interesting. But really, I've always been behind the scenes. You know what I mean? You won't see me, at my shows on stage. Just if I am, I'm hiding in the back.
I've seen that.
Yeah, literally hiding. It's just not my thing. But what I do want to say, if you don't mind, kind of off topic, is I'm just so proud, bro, of what we're doing as young Mexicans and Latinos, like Jimmy Humilde, Angel Del Records, myself, you, Baby Bash, Burner. Bro, it's a great time to be Mexican. It's a great time to be Latino. You know what I mean? Because it's bro, we're becoming businessmen.
Absolutely.
Like to watch Burner be in Forbes magazine is so inspiring. I'm his agent for his music, but bro, he was a duffel bag boy, slanging and doing his thing, bro. And it's damn, that's crazy, bro. I remember as a kid watching Be Real come to my dad's nightclub when Mellow and Ace was on, and they were just waiting to get put on. And now seeing Be Real own multiple businesses and dispensaries is just bro, that shit's inspiring, bro. Because it was either the big black artists or the whites. we were always kind of like, you know,
Yes.
Vicente Fernandez, not knowing that Chicanos had all this talent. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's just like, to me, bro, it's so motivating to watch us just grow. And like my boy Jimmy, he's doing it, bro. Like he brought a whole movement. And, you know, I'm just very proud of all of us, bro.
Awesome. You know, and I'm glad you brought up the B-Real dispensaries because I've gone to 2 of his grand openings.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you one thing that I said the same thing to B-Real that I said Mr. Cartoon, because I've known Mr. Cartoon since he's been a teenager, you know, from San Pedro.
Yeah.
Started at the Roadium. And when he was in my documentary, I just shook his hand, bro. I didn't ask him for a hat. I didn't ask him for a T-shirt. I just wanted to tell him, look, bro, I don't know if anybody's ever told you this, but I just want to tell you I'm proud of you, bro.
Yeah.
I said, because I remember seeing you play my mixtapes, airbrushing and selling the shirts.
Yeah.
He made Easy E a shirt, you know. I said, so Cartoon, a lot of people don't know that my artwork, my the High C name with the microphone and my name, that was his first album cover ever.
Wow, no
yeah,
way.
Yeah, and he did it for us.
That's dope.
You know, and so I just told him I'm proud of you. So when I went to B-Real's dispensary grand openings, I told him the same thing, bro. I'm proud of you, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I think I met B like in 1991. Yeah. You know, I just told, bro, as far as you come, and he's such a genuine, humble dude, bro. Right. Bash the same way.
Right.
MC Magic the same way.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, I want to say this about MC Magic. Yeah. I've never seen an artist shake every person that came to see him perform's hand and take a picture with him.
He is one of the most humble guys in the world, bro. You know who's another one that doesn't get a lot of credit? Recently he has been, but he's always been behind the scenes and has done some heavy shit, is Esteban.
Yes, bro, he's been here like 5 times.
Yeah, I look up to that guy, bro. You know, I always admire his humbleness, and he's just quiet. When he talks, it's one of those guys that's like a wizard, bro. Like, you listen because he very rarely talks.
Yes.
We have a guy like that inside of our motorcycle club called Poor Boy. Like, when he talks, you just listen. When Esteban talks, people just listen. Yes. And like people don't know what the stuff he's done. He's managed Cypress Hill. He managed, you know, House of Pain.
Yes.
People don't know until they saw that L.A. documentary thing.
Yeah, L.A. Originals.
L.A. Originals.
And he also directed the Cypress Hill.
Right. You know, and it's just like I said, it's a perfect time, bro. And I'm hoping that the younger guys, the next generation, takes lead from what we're doing and become businessmen, bro. Because it's like the stats tell us that we're supposed to fail, supposed to be in jail, supposed to be addicted to drugs, but like I'm seeing otherwise, bro. Like it's a perfect time.
That's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, brother.
That's a beautiful thing. Other than that, you know what, man? I pretty much ran out of questions to ask you, my bro. Like you answered everything.
Right on, brother.
So all we know that Bobby D Presents is alive and well 2024 and it's going forward.
Yeah, we're coming hard.
So and you're going to be able to see High C and Tony A on some of his shows.
There you go.
That's awesome. So honestly, and thank you for that.
Thank you, brother.
Truly, thank you for that. I'm looking forward to Mikey Jimenez's stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna get him in here too.
Yes,
okay.
Please do.
We're gonna get Warren G on here and Mikey. All right.
Okay, there you go. You guys heard it here. Okay, you guys heard it here. So, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna cut this clip tomorrow and post it up and tag him. So, other than that, there was when I was in Bakersfield, I was there with Magic Girl. Right. Okay, and we're almost done with her EP. Yeah. We keep saying we're almost done, but really, it's because my whole thing is like, I'm just a co-producer. Sure. She's doing 95% of her production. Yeah, she's amazing. And my thing is like, okay, change that kick, change that snare, change that hat. Okay, there it is there. We were getting Krista Glove Taylor mixing some of her stuff, and now we're getting the other half done by Tony G. Right. Okay, Tony G is amazing engineer. So we're going to do that. Hopefully it'll be out, or at least be done by next month. But I want to shoot it to you first. Absolutely. Because I really do think you're going to enjoy it. And if you feel she deserves to be on the road, then...
Like I said, bro, we've had, you know, a lot of the Latino girls that came up. And I don't want to just, you know, typecast her as a Latino artist. But, like, we had Natalie, we had Paula Deanda, artists that became very famous in their own right. You know, like Natalie's the head cheerleading coach for the Houston Rockets.
Awesome.
You know, where there's opportunity, bro, like let's jump on and seize the opportunity. I know I was talking to Magic Girl a couple of times and we never got our schedules right to do something. But, bro, she's super talented. Like, you picked a great thing to work with and a great talent because I'm telling you, bro, I think she just needs your guidance to go to that next level.
Absolutely. And you guys, there's no talk box on this album. It's just all singing. And that's where I think you guys are going to be surprised. So other than that, brother, Alex, anything else, or you're good? Go ahead.
Okay, David Lopez dropped $1.99. That's it.
Okay.
Isis Chavez dropped $2. They said Freaky Tales Friday.
Yes.
Okay, Raider Tommy dropped $5. He said, "Much love, big bro, Bobby and Blanca."
I love Tommy.
And David Lopez dropped $9.99. They said, "Putting on for the culture, Mexican flag."
That's right.
Absolutely.
You,
Thank you,
Appreciate
man.
that, Colonel.
Thank you.
And that's it.
Okay. Other than that, Bobby, anything I didn't ask you, anything you want to promote, anything you want to share, anything you want to get off your chest?
No, I just want to say thanks for having me, bro. Like it's always like I said, I always find it kind of interesting when people ask me to be on podcasts and that, because like I said, I'm just living it, so I don't really get to see what I'm doing. To me, it's just like, it's what we do.
Yeah.
And I just said, man, I don't know why they want to ask me questions. And I'm always afraid, are they going to be able to ask me questions? Like, are we going to just sit there and stare at each other? You know what I mean? But you always make me feel comfortable because I'm super shy, bro. Like, I'm telling you, like I've had opportunities to do things, and I don't go to premieres because I feel out of place. You know,
Okay,
I feel like I'm that Mexican guy that everyone, because it's been that way.
Yeah.
When I would be at these things, like they would literally, and again, nothing against white people, right?
Right.
I love my white people too, but they make you feel like, oh, there's a Mexican kid. I don't know if I'm eating right, you know what I mean? Because we're used to eating tortillas and beans. And,
Eating with our hands.
yeah, exactly. And so I always shy away from that because I'm super shy. That's
Yes.
not an act, bro. That's for real.
Okay. Now, another thing that I wanted just to quickly bring up, podcasts that I watch that at least I learned from. I like watching Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
I like Dr. Green Thumb. I think
Yeah,
you've been
of
on there,
course.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then I just recently found out because of the Cat Williams interview.
Oh, yeah.
What is it called?
Shannon Sharp, wait, is it?
Yeah, Shannon Sharp, Club Shay Shay, is that what it is? I think he just had that girl Mo or Monique.
Yeah.
That was another good one too.
I mean, who I love, and was Howard Stern, because he was the first one
Yes.
to do the thing where he was being filmed. It was on E Channel, and I was blown away by how he would get like the squarest person to start talking about how much pussy they got, how much their first experience, and they would get like big stars, bro, and they would feel like, fuck, you tricked me. Like, how'd you get that out of me? You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that's the best sign of a real podcaster, when they can make you so comfortable that you just start spilling tea. You know what I mean? And Howard Stern was one of them, bro. People have lost careers because of that shit,
Oh, bro.
So,
I had this one guy here. I won't mention his name.
right.
This guy admitted that he had a gun on him, that he's on the run. He shouldn't be here.
Right.
Bro, he was going in. He was sweating. I go, okay, you guys, we're going to go ahead and take a 10-minute break. We'll be right back. And then when I got off, I go, what happened? He goes, bro, I'm glad you stopped me. I was about to say who I smoked. And I was like,
Way.
yeah. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
That's why I try to take it easy and not, sometimes I'll bring out some liquor, we'll take some shots or whatever.
Yeah.
But when I see that dudes are going too far, I'll change the damn subject. Because, most people want the juicy cheese man. I'm going to be honest with you, Bobby.
Right.
I would rather maintain a good name than to be the Jerry Springer podcast.
Right.
And I don't want that.
Right.
So.
But that's what I'm saying, bro. To me, it's just about keeping things positive. Like, I don't believe in net banging. I don't believe, like I said, if you got to handle something, you can get a hold of that person. You know what I mean? So to me, when I see these people beefing on YouTube and or on social media or on podcasts, I just think that's the most ungangster thing you could do.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're a gangster, bro, be about it. Don't that's my opinion.
Don't post about it.
Right. Exactly. Be about it. You know what I mean? Like you could find somebody. You know what I mean? And to me, it's just like, I'd rather in this day and age, bro, be positive. I'm
Absolutely.
45 now, and I've been there, done that. I got the scars to prove it, and the battle wounds to prove it. But to me, bro, I just want to be a positive force for everybody, not just Latinos, but for everybody. Because again, I think God's given me some very, very, very huge opportunities in my life.
Yeah.
And I don't want to lose it. I don't want to miss out. And
Absolutely.
And I always feel like if I deny somebody, or if I'm mean, I'm just afraid God's going to take those gifts away.
Yeah.
I really am. Again, that's not to say I get abused, but
Right. Right.
it's funny because if someone asks me on Instagram for a free ticket, I don't know who they are. Okay, cool, no problem.
You've been blessed to be a blessing.
Right. So if one of my brothers or my family that I didn't even know I had, tells me, oh, okay, cool. Like if you got the energy to ask me, I'm gonna say yeah. Because to me, it's just space. You know what I mean? It's just two little hard tickets I gave you.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So,
Awesome.
yeah,
That's
bro.
dope.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Right here it says Gilbert Ortiz dropped $5. He said, can Bobby D get Snoop Dogg on Roadium Radio?
Hey, you know what? That's one thing I'm not going to ask, but I'm glad he heard it. He'll just keep that one in his back pocket because I don't like to put people on the spot like that.
Okay, so. And the Felix family dropped $9.99, and that's it. They didn't ask no questions.
Awesome. I'll be happy with Warren G and see where everything else goes from there.
Oh man, let me tell you something. Like I learned some stuff from Warren because I've been with him in his management team for about 8 years now. it's like I didn't know he wasn't on death row. You know, he was on Def Jam.
Yeah.
You know, like this, he has stories, bro, that are gonna blow your mind. You know what I mean? Like that. That's just a dude who's like a legend, but he's never been recognized for who he truly is.
Yeah.
And you know, he grapples with that a lot. You know what I mean? Because again, I think he did a lot for everybody. You know,
Absolutely.
Dre wouldn't help him. That's his half brother or step brother, whatever it is. And he'll tell you, he goes, my brother wouldn't even do a beat for me. You know what I mean? He says, I got to go earn my own keep. But Dre's been there with everybody. Yeah. Like, you got to earn your keep to be with Dre. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, again, it's nothing like he hates Warren G. He loves him. Right. But he says, no, you got to do your own thing, brother. You know what I mean? And I think that made Warren G. be that much better. You know? That's awesome. Yeah, just like with my dad. Like, I always had to do it better because I was learning from the best. You know what I mean? So, absolutely. Yeah. Other than that, let me go ahead and give my shout-outs. Once again, I'm going to give a shout-out to my boy, Alex Cervantes Enterprise, for, once again, for running the mothership. Also, Norby's Muse with Norby's, thank you for coming through. Also, my son, B. Scanless, for helping me promote this. Also, the Hip Hop Jedi. Also, our moderator, Magic Girl, thank you for that. Also, Frankie Orozco, To Live and Die in L.A., the man, the myth, the legend, he's here. Also, Blanca, I would like to call it Blanca Bobby D Presents. So, Blanca the Hustler. Blanca the Hustler, thank you for that. Yeah. And once again, Bobby D himself, thank you for coming through. Brother. It's an honor to be here, brother. Absolutely, man. Thank you, bro. Gracias, bro. Muchas gracias. So other than that, once again, guys, I'm going to be live on Friday, Freaky Tales, 8 o'clock. Make sure you guys tune in. And then on Saturday, I'm going to be live with a special guest on Roadium After Dark. And then on Sunday, I'll be back again, 8 o'clock. So we'll be on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Got a busy week. So thank you, guys. We're making it happen. Once again, you heard of Warren G. Hopefully one day this year. We're going to get it. Absolutely. Stay blessed, you guys. You know what? And everybody that gave, everybody on the super chat, everybody who liked, comment, subscribe, shared, or disliked, it doesn't matter. You guys still watch. Much love, much respect. We are out of here. Thank you.
Hasta la vista, baby. I'll be back.